Hey everyone, Brian from 3 Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
Hey, how does David Byrne from Talking Heads look these days?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Same as he ever was. Same as he ever was. Same as he ever was.
This is not my beautiful podcast.
Same as it never was.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Tune into your favorite podcast for the Halloween episode. Don't miss it. And don't forget to put on your headphones. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
May find myself with a shotgun in a cabin after visiting New York.
And you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile.
We found ourselves behind the wheel of a
Buick Skylark.
The Skylark. Hello and welcome to another thrilling episode of 3 Geeky Dads, the show that has everybody saying, for the love of God, why? I am Mark, and with me, as always, are the red and hot to my chili peppers,
Derek.
And Brian.
And joining us, as always, is the man who says F you to math and the accuracy to the title of our show, the Halloween returns to the rest of our franchise.
That don't make no sense.
Halloween 4, Michael Myers returns. Whatever, Russ. Whatever. Tito.
Wow.
How you guys doing?
That's what happens when he wings it.
I've been better.
This is when you wing it.
I've been better.
I've been better. I've
better.
been better.
But not many.
Been better. How is everybody doing tonight?
Awesome.
Not
Good.
bad. Not bad at
Everybody
all.
Good. We had quite the weekend, and
Sure did.
I know we're going to get to that, but before we get to the obvious, everybody else doing all right?
Yeah,
Anything
yeah.
exciting?
No.
Doing good?
We're doing good.
Awesome. I'm winging this intro tonight because I have not had time to write a intro. So
Been a busy boy.
I have been a busy boy. I got
Yeah.
an oil tank that needs fixing, and I don't know. And I've been away. We've been
Right.
away. So
We
why
have
don't
been.
why don't we break right into the appetizer?
Let's do
'Cause
it.
We got a lot to cover.
Let's go eat, huh?
So for our appetizer, we are just going to talk about our past weekend where we went to New York Comic Con.
We sure did.
We
Yes,
did.
We did.
You guys went?
Oh,
You
sorry,
didn't
Derek.
invite Derek?
You didn't get the memo?
We're all full up.
It was a blast. Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Good appetizer.
So how did everybody enjoy it?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah, I really dug it. It was like sensory overload, though.
Yeah.
I really didn't know where to turn. I missed more than I saw. And
I know there are parts of the convention center I didn't
Dude.
even realize were there.
same.
Like the cosplayer thing, there was like a station apparently. That
Oh,
was
you go
like,
up the stairs and
Yeah.
there's a little room
yeah,
full of cosplayers.
Like the cosplayers can like fix things. They
I
have,
had
like
no
an
idea.
emergency
Yeah.
cosplay hospital.
That's exactly what it is.
Puppet Hospital and Burn Center.
It's true.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
That's
There's like
too
a
many stairs.
cafe, and then you go up another flight of
Right.
stairs, and there's like a little room full of cosplayers.
Yeah, that
like,
convention
fixing
center is
themselves.
huge.
It
so-
is. It
but,
really is.
But somehow a shortage of tables and chairs still. Even
Yeah,
all of
there
that.
weren't
There
benches
was so
anywhere.
many people.
Oh,
They
that
can't
was the-
accommodate everybody.
that
There
was
were
the
more than
highlight.
the last few years. So, like those green tables.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
were never there before.
Oh, really?
see,
Yeah.
so
So Tito is the resident expert. He's gone to Comic-Con for quite a few years now, whereas
Is this number 5 or 6?
or more.
for you.
I don't know.
I think you said it was more than 6, 7,
Except-
isn't it?
Yeah, the only I mean, there was the COVID year, but
Yeah.
there's 6 or 7.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
And it was our first time.
We're old hands now. Next year we'll be all set.
Yeah, I know
Yep.
now what not to do. And,
Boy, do we.
What are some of those things, Mark?
well, shucks. Where do we begin? Let's talk about what we liked about it, and let's start with you, Derek.
Hey, all right. I mean, everybody was really nice. There was, seeing the cosplayers everywhere was awesome. And like every writer, I got a whole list of people that I got to get things signed by and pictures and, shout out to Valeria Fakasha, Tom King, Tom Taylor, Tim Seeley, Jeff Loeb, Jock, George Corona, Raphael Grampa, Jim the fucking Manley. All of them were awesome. They were so friendly. They were like engaging. Even like I got pictures with Tim Curry and Palm Clemente. They were really cool. They chatted with people as much as they could.
And you were in Palm's phone.
I am. Palm took a picture of me and threw me off. I wanted to tell her how great she was, how badass she was in Mission Impossible, and how much I enjoyed the chemistry between her and Dave Bautista in the Guardians movies.
You also had a ring for her, which was
And-
kind of weird.
Yeah,
and,
you got down on one knee.
Thank God
Wow.
she took that picture and kind of
She-
cheered
she-
you
yeah.
from that. Yeah.
But she like stood back. She saw my shirt. I had a picture of Mantis on it, and it says, "I sense your bullshit," or "I feel your bullshit."
Yeah.
And, she thought that was hilarious, so she stepped back and said, "I have to take a picture of this," and it completely threw me off, and I didn't know what to do or say. So, but yeah, just people were awesome. I feel like it made me feel like everybody that was there wanted to be there and was excited to be there and excited to engage with the fans.
Yeah.
It was just super cool. I spent the majority of the weekend in our artist alley.
And you were like a machine.
You really were.
Yeah,
You were there. You got every one of your missions.
Which isn't
yeah.
surprising because you had been talking about this for weeks
Well, yeah,
beforehand, and you
yeah.
had everything mapped out.
I kind of listed everything. I mean, and there were some people I didn't get to, but like for the most part, yeah, I just I knew who I
Did
wanted
anybody
to see.
knock your binder full of papers all over the
No.
like Tito said that might happen?
MapQuest instructions.
No, I didn't end up using them. I didn't really I looked a couple times just to check booth numbers because I had written down some locations and I wanted to check what people were. But yeah, I mean, all that planning, I kind of just went out the window. I kind of just
Went with the flow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I got a ton of art, so I left happy, very happy, and I can't wait to go back, especially now where I've gotten all that stuff out of the way. So now I can kind of I can really enjoy. I want to go to more panels next time. And, but yeah, overall awesome. And
Yeah.
I love New York. New
Yeah.
York was great.
It was. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we only did the one panel. You and I went back
we
on
went
Thursday night.
to Blumfest.
Yeah.
Blumfest.
Jason Blum.
is their horror fest.
Yeah, introducing 3 of the directors
Right.
of their newest movies.
Yep. Which was cool.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a good time. Yeah, we got 5 Nights at Freddy's pizza boxes
That's
as
right.
a souvenir.
Oh, was there
Unfortunately,
anything
they-
in the boxes?
No, unfortunately,
they-
the boxes were empty. You had
Yeah.
to put them
They
together
came- yeah, you had
yourself.
to
They
fold
came
them yourself,
unassembled.
but
like
yes.
a flat pizza box.
I want to say that's cool, but it's kind of not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's totally cool.
Like, put
It
a
was-
fucking shirt in there, guys.
Yeah, it was.
Put a shirt in the box.
It was cool for my daughter, who's a huge fan of
Yeah.
Five Nights at
Yeah.
Freddy's. When I showed her the picture while we were waiting for the thing to start, I had assembled the pizza box and had it on my lap, and I took a picture of it and sent it to my daughter as a text. And she's like, "What?"
Oh, cool. All right, that's cool.
So that was like her souvenir. She was like
that
thrilled to
movie
get
looks
it.
good too. That's gonna be fun.
Well, it was
Yeah.
very authentic looking
Yeah.
because the maid in our hotel threw out mine, thinking it was a real empty pizza box.
That's right.
No
well, you left
way.
yours on the floor, and I was
left
worried
mine
about that.
on the floor next to my backpack because you had yours out and about.
I
you had
had
something
stuff on top of
yours.
it, so
So I thought,
And
it'll
I
be
left mine
fine.
in my-
And
my
I
plastic
didn't
bag.
expect. I thought I thought we had to request maid service. I didn't even know
especially
we
since
No.
they didn't take.
No, Mark, this is a high class establishment.
That's true, apparently, but nobody told me.
The half full Yinglings didn't get thrown
That's
out.
true. I didn't.
So she left those.
Yeah, the
we hit
beer
the 7
cans were all there.
We hit the
still.
7-Eleven the night before and got a bunch of tall boys of Yinglings.
Yeah,
Brought them back to the room, and there was, they didn't all get drunk, and
No.
and yet the maid left the half-empty beer cans
Take the
still on
pizza
the
box,
table.
yeah,
leave
which
the-
yeah.
were which
leave the
were
cans.
right next, or rather, right on top of the dresser. Over the pizza box,
Waiting
so-
to be taken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, these
Right.
can be thrown away. I have no use for these, but I don't know. She must have been the tuck-in maid on Seinfeld or whatever. Anyway, Derek was kind enough to give me his free pizza box, and,
Oh, cool.
Liv was very happy to get that. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's a
Okay.
huge Five Nights at Freddy's
Yeah,
fan.
That's who I did
my
it
daughter
for.
too.
Yeah, so that was one of the many things that happened, and I'll get to mine in a minute. But you, Brian, what were your highlights? What did you enjoy?
I got to meet Sean Astin. I thought that was amazing because I didn't even know he was going to be there. Mark, you got into the line to see
Dee Snider.
Dee Snider, who was like 2 booths down from Sean, and you looked like you might have been in line for a while. And I said, I'm going to get in Sean Astin's line, which was long-ish,
Yeah.
but not unusually long. Where I'd be like, no, fuck this. I'm not waiting in that. So I got in line, and it was about 45 minutes to an hour, I think. Would you guys guess?
Yeah, because I kind of went off. That was when you guys were in those lines. That was when I kind of
Yeah,
explored.
Yeah.
it seemed to move really good. And the woman behind me, I started talking to her. She was older, like older than me, and she was dressed as Black Widow. She even had like the red wig.
Oh, nice.
But it was just off-putting. She was super nice. No, just seriously. I'm like, you see somebody that's like, in like probably like, if I had to guess, like maybe late 60s, mid to late 60s, and she's dressed like Black Widow.
Oh, going strong.
With a cane. She's walking with a cane.
Yeah.
And it turned out that she was from Rhode Island originally.
Of course,
She's living in North Carolina now, but we started talking and about Sean Astin and blah blah blah, and then she was like, "Oh, my name's," and I feel bad I forget her name because that always happens with me. How people say their name, and if they're not wearing a tag, I forget it like 30 seconds later. So I introduced myself and I said, "Yeah." She says, "Are you from near here?" And I said, "Well, from Rhode Island, 3 hours away by train." And she's like, "Oh my God!" She says, "I lived in Rhode Island for, now we live in North Carolina. I'm here with my son and blah blah blah." It just talking to like the fans and stuff, and we were talking about Sean Astin and all kinds of stuff.
And then
she
you
was super nice.
realized the two of you dated. At
Yeah,
one point.
it turns out that she was an ex of mine.
Yeah, and
I didn't recognize her because of the costume.
What's behind that belt? Oh, those are my boobs. Hanging a little low today.
Oh,
You're not far off, Derek.
Poor
wow.
No,
Poor
but
Black Widow.
yeah, meeting Jim Lee was awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had met more people.
Yeah.
Like on our way back, I was like, oh shit, like Claudio Sanchez from Coheed and Cambria was there.
Oh, really?
And but I don't know if he was there like a Saturday and Sunday kind of thing because I don't remember seeing him in Artist Alley.
Yeah.
Because he was there with his Evil Inc. press because
Right.
they do Coheed and Cambria comics.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, did he? Was he one of the ones that canceled?
I have no
'Cause
idea.
There was one. It was either him or someone from Good Charlotte. There was like a.
Good Charlotte. Yeah,
the band
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
that has a comic that
Yeah.
canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're the ones that did the Umbrella Academy, right? Or was it Good
No.
Charlotte? No,
No,
that's
My Chemical
My
Romance.
Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gerard.
Wrong
Not
Gerd,
wrong emo
Gerard.
band.
Emos, they're flipping out right now.
Yeah.
They all just stopped listening.
That's it.
Yeah.
All three of them.
There goes the show.
There it goes. Their eyeliner's
There it
running.
goes.
And they're huddled over by a bunch of candles. They're writing their next song.
That's it. We inspired them.
That's it.
Remember me. I don't know. That's how they sound.
Pretty good.
Oh, they
My
all fucking
geeky
sound.
dads are as bad as my real dad. It's the worst podcast I ever had.
We'll be right back, kids. We're going to get a pack of smokes.
Clove cigarettes.
Forever.
Runaway dad's never coming back. How about you there, Tito? What was your
Soul
highlight?
Asylum?
Besides hanging out with us, what was your highlight?
Well, Tito didn't hang out with us the whole time.
no, he had other people to hang out with.
Tito's
too.
too cool for us.
He is cool, but he did hang out with us for a while.
I did, and sometimes I just disappear into a corner and smoke cigarettes.
Like you do here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nothing new.
bingo.
Yeah.
So I had a great time this year. I got a bunch of books signed. I met Kevin Eastman. I've been trying to get a signature from him for a while. His lines are always absurd, but I was able to get in one fairly early and not wait too long. And
That's
he was
good.
really, really cool. He remarked my Raphael 1 micro series.
Nice.
I got to meet X to the Z exhibit on Saturday.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Also really,
I didn't even know
really
he was
cool.
going to be there.
Pimp
Yeah.
My comic.
Yeah, right. Honestly, Jarek was talking about this earlier. Like when you look at like Twitter, Instagram, like these things just start popping up, and that's how I found out. I was like, oh, exhibit's gonna be there. That's cool. And if there's a rapper, I like to try to meet him if I can.
Yeah.
And I haven't read his book yet, but while I was there, the Rodney Barnes, who he was with, I got one of his books that I started reading that he did by himself, which is really, really good. I was able to bring my son this year, which was a lot of fun. I think. Maybe he had fun. Maybe he didn't.
Was it fun for you? Or?
I was happy to have him.
Yeah.
I was glad he was there.
Well, that's good.
I felt bad. I don't know. 15-year-olds, I don't know if you're out there. Give me a clue.
Can
I
ask
was
my daughter.
15. I was probably the same way when I was 15, though.
You're still like that. I don't know what
I'm
you're
still,
thinking
yeah.
sometimes.
Neither do I. It's true. Fuck. It's me. It's not even him.
you.
It's me.
That's right. You're the baby of the group.
So when we were all hanging out outside, Ronan was like kind of
that's right.
hanging out
In
He
the
was sitting on
corner listening to the weekend
Right,
on his
yeah.
headphones. Yeah,
No, he
sure.
was next to me at that time. He was
Yes,
hanging out with
he
us.
was next to you.
Sitting on the
Yeah,
bench.
We were
Not,
looking at
Oh, yeah,
cosplayers.
Yeah.
So this group of guys come over and they
But-
kind
but-
of making eye contact with us.
which wasn't unusual because where we were, there was a lot of people that coming and going
Right.
because there was a lot of people
and
smoking.
and people waiting for the bench to clear out. so
Right,
they could
because we had
sit.
gone out to get some air.
Right. So these guys come over and I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
One of them
Starts talking to
starts talking to Ronan, and I'm like, what did he say? He said something.
You're all right. You look tired.
You
Are
look
you
tired,
Yeah,
buddy.
you okay?
You
look
tired?
ti-
And I'm like,
but Derek and I are
fuck
looking
are you
at each
doing,
other
creep?
like, we don't know who these fucking guys
Right.
are. Are they
I'm
hitting
like,
on
why
Ronan?
is this guy talking to him?
Yeah, he was asking him. Are
And
you
we didn't know
warming
that
up?
these were your other friends
Right.
because we had never met them
Until
before.
Tito came back over, I didn't realize. And I'm like, because we hadn't met him before. And
So-
they're
So Derek
shit,
and I,
okay.
like, we start like going to like protective father mode.
Yeah, well-
You know? Like, who the fuck are these pervs?
That's awesome.
And if your buddies are listening to this podcast, we
Yes.
apologize for our
We
initial
saw- yeah,
impressions,
sorry.
but
It's
that's
not like you guys look like pedophiles.
No.
It was just what you
but
said.
when
and-
we see strangers hitting on
Stranger
our
danger.
friend's
Yeah.
son,
That's awesome.
you look tired.
I didn't
yeah,
know
you
that.
look tired. You're right. You want to come with us?
Some,
Dude, I'm like,
NyQuil
where the
in
fuck
here.
is this going?
That's awesome.
And where the hell is Ronan going?
No, yeah, I definitely appreciate that. I wonder if they would have done the same.
Like if it was us that walked
Those
over.
idiots,
I
yeah.
know.
And I'm like, oh, he must know him.
Well, Brian and Derek started. I was just sitting there listening. I'm like, I ain't getting involved in this. I don't know this guy that well. I'm too fucking tired.
Yeah,
no,
I know.
Good luck, Ronan. It's the real world.
That's
Well, because
it.
at first too, I was thinking like, all right, why are they sitting so close to us? Like, there's
yeah.
there's plenty of other areas. Why
Yeah.
is this guy
Yeah,
just
why are they
plopping right
crowding
down
us?
in front of us?
And then we realize that they're all
They
with you.
really want this spot.
They did.
Yeah,
But they were nice. Yeah, we got
Yeah.
To, we got to meet Tito's entourage.
that's
and,
right.
Yeah,
I was just gonna
Very
say that
cool.
Tito's so cool. He's got his
Savages.
entourage.
You did have your own
So,
entourage.
so now that you've been so many times, like I feel I kind of am curious as to what it's like for you now, where like I'm sure you've had most of the things that you've wanted signed already. So like, what do you like?
There's
you
always
go,
somebody new.
Yeah,
There's always something new every year. At least one thing that I'm really excited about.
yeah.
That's cool.
And even the stuff like Chris Claremont, I didn't get a book signed this year.
Yeah.
I get something signed from him every time I go.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to meet him again.
Yeah.
Because he's just a fucking cool guy.
Yeah.
So you met Chris Claremont in the past?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've had
okay.
a few things. I got a
that's
few
cool.
things signed by him. He's always there. He always goes every con.
Yeah.
He was one of the ones that had a very big line.
That was one of the first years that I was like, wow, this line's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Deservedly so. I love his work.
Yeah. Well, you got to figure too. I mean, maybe a lot of people think the way I think. Like Chris Claremont has been in the industry forever. He's not a young guy. This might be. People might be thinking this might be my last opportunity to meet this guy.
Right.
You know, and that might be why his line is getting longer and longer every year.
I mean, yeah, for
I
sure.
swear to God, if anything happens to him,
I
now
know.
that we
I
have
mean,
said
I
that,
know.
Dude, I know, but I
Comic
mean, it's going to
artists
happen to
that
everybody
passed
sooner or
and-
later. I hate to say it.
yeah, but
It's
I
happened.
still want to be.
There's people
Yeah.
that I like, I had a shot to meet Jim Lee at Rhode Island, and I was like, I don't want to pay that much to meet Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Not thinking that, he was a fucking 100.
Oh, Jim Lee or Stanley?
Oh, Stanley. excuse me.
Stanley.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah,
I'm
Jim
sorry.
Lee's still alive.
Jim Lee is still alive, and I got some stuff signed by him last year.
Yeah.
But when Stan Lee came to Rhode Island, I was like, oh, I don't want to spend this kind of money.
I did the same thing.
And then I wish I had. 'cause
I
it
know.
was like,
I'm
you-
kicking my
you
ass now for
fucking,
doing it.
You know? He's
When
a
I
legend.
When I went to Rhode Island Comic Con, I got this tiny little picture of him, way off in the distance, sitting, in his booth there, and I'm at the end of the velvet ropes, and not even getting in the line, but I'm way at the back, and I have to magnify it, and it's so pixelated.
Yeah. I promise it's Stan Lee.
Yeah, I promise you that little gray blob down there with the glasses is Stan Lee.
Yeah, but so Will Spartasio
Yeah.
was there this year. He's someone I always check to see if he's going to be at a convention.
Yeah.
Bishop is one of my favorite comic book characters. So if I can I've been trying to get that book signed.
Was he the creator of Bishop?
Created Bishop?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's a book I've been trying to get signed for a really long time now. So I was really excited he was there. He was really, really cool. I got a long shot book signed by him too because he did the ink on it. Art Adams, who did the long shot, I got him to sign that book, which was really, really cool.
He was cool.
It's just
I was
fun.
talking. He was sitting behind Jeff Loeb, his spot. So when I was in line for Jeff Loeb, I talked to him a little bit.
It's fun
he
to
was looking
see the artists interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I went to go get Art Adams' signature, and he wasn't there because he was having lunch with Chris Claremont.
Yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
talking about how they were going to want to work together again. And
Yeah.
you'll see pictures get posted online of Jim Lee hanging out with Todd
Yeah.
McFarlane,
Yeah.
or this dude hanging out with this dude.
In Instagram, I just started following a bunch of these artists on Instagram, and Scott Snyder and Tom Taylor. They were all posting these big group after the con was over.
Yeah,
they
hanging out.
must have been hanging out and went out for dinner and drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's you see Jock with and actually Jock posted a picture of him and Frank Miller must have been hanging out, and Frank did a piece for him. They swapped art, and
Frank Miller's like a fucking ghost, man.
Yeah.
I have
he was hard to find.
He comes every year. I have never fucking seen him. I've seen the line for him. I've never seen anyone at the end of the line. I don't know if he's actually there. I'm not joking.
Well, you were
There
looking for
years-
him,
I
Mark.
was looking for him. I couldn't
Yeah.
find him.
There's
No.
been years where it's like, oh, Frank Miller's here, and you see
Yeah.
the Frank Miller table,
Yeah.
and just a million people, and then you look at the table, you're like, well, where the fuck's Frank Miller?
Yeah.
And why are all these people still standing here?
Who's the one? Remember when I got my picture taken with Jim Lee?
Yep.
And the guy that took the picture,
guy
Jim
photo-
Lee's,
yeah.
Oh,
who
it was,
photobombed?
Alex Sinclair, I think.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. He
Yes.
did say it was Alex. He
'Cause
says,
he-
"Oh, you got 2 for 1 because you got your picture taken with Jim Lee and Alex."
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
'cause he
I didn't even
photobombed
see
it.
him, and then they're hanging out. Alex
and-
was talking to Jim right after.
And I didn't realize
had my
until
book
after
signed.
we went through that line with Jim Lee. I didn't realize that he's in charge of DC right now.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I was talking
Yeah, yeah,
about that. Yeah,
which is awesome.
yeah.
Like,
So you could have talked about that. With
I
him.
know. I really I should have picked his brain and said, "Hey, do something better with the Bat Family." I would have
And I'm sure he
pitched
would
that idea that I had.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he would have listened. Totally.
Yeah.
But that's always a really fun thing about the con for me is I was at Chris Claremont's booth last year getting something signed, and Mark Silvestri walked up, and they're talking to each other, and I'm just kind of looking at my book, waiting and trying to be respectful. And he walks, and then Chris Claremont says to him, "I don't think any of these people know who you are." And I look up and I'm like, holy shit, it's Mark Silvestri. And then he just walked away. And then after I got my signature, I followed him to his table so I could get my book signed.
Oh, no shit.
But it was true. Like, it was true. I wasn't paying attention at all. It was just two people talking. And I hear him say, these guys don't even realize who you are. And then I look up and I'm just like, no, it's him.
You should have raised your hand.
Say it? Did
I
you
know.
say,
No, he walked away.
I'm going to stalk your ass now. Back to your table.
I did. I was like, okay.
I knew who you were, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, is like the amount of stuff that I learned while I was there, like different things about different artists, and getting to see certain people and realize, oh, that's who that is.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
And don't eat the gum stuck to the railing because it's not free candy.
Right. Made our way through the Lincoln Tunnel.
Past the whirly swirly.
But how about you,
gumdrops.
Mark? How was
Oh, man.
Yeah,
your
tell us how much fun you had.
How much fun I had, or what I learned. Well, I learned in New York when someone says donation, don't ever pull out money for a donation because they will turn donation to, oh no, try to give me all your money.
Yeah.
That
How much you got in
have.
there, buddy?
Yeah, I see you have more.
I see you got scratch in your wallet.
Scratching the wall.
So we arrived by train, and then we took a nice long walk to the convention
Gino's
center.
laughing
Yeah,
already.
you should laugh already because it was hilarious. And we get in, and on our way to the convention, we're hounded.
Accosted.
We saw the
Accosted.
line.
We
We
saw
saw
the
the line
line.
outside, and we
Yeah.
asked what the line was.
Thinking
and they said that was
like, oh, we've got to wait in that to
right.
get in.
But it turned out, luckily,
That
it was
was
just
the
a
will
will
call.
call line, which
Yeah.
we didn't have to wait in.
Yeah,
because
too
we
bad
already had
nobody
our
told us
tickets.
before we went to that line because
Yeah.
I would be $20 richer.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they always have they didn't have the guys outside with the signs like that.
No, nothing. At least not where we
Not
came on.
that day.
That first day, Thursday, like when I was looking for the place to stow my bag,
Oh yeah.
I could not find a single person that
That was
worked
it.
there.
Oh, well, that's
That's another.
that's
looked-
another story.
I looked all over that fucking place.
Derek, who said he was packing light.
Wait, hold on. We'll get
But
to
then
it.
there was
We'll
more
get to it.
stuff.
Hold on. Well, I got to finish this. So
Yeah.
we get to the line, and yeah, what did you say? That word, that great word,
Accosted.
Yeah.
We were accosted by several fellows who
We
had,
all were.
Yeah, but
Right.
Brian and Derek had the smarts to just be like, nope, get
As
away.
soon as
I'm
he
like-
said donation,
yeah,
I
I'm
just
like,
shoved
oh,
the
fuck
thing back
off.
in his hand. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, no.
Whereas I heard
don't want your CD to
donation.
begin with, and I'm
Right.
certainly not paying for it.
Whereas when I heard donation, we're helping some of the the hungry people. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be nice. And so I pulled out a $5, and then these guys like, oh wait, no, you got to have one of mine. You got to have one of mine. No, see, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you 20 back. Give me that 20. I'll give you change back. Give me. Why are you
See,
going
your
from my
mistake was
wallet?
telling them my name is Mark, and they heard the name Mark, and they were
Yeah.
like, hey, we got a Mark over here.
We got a Mark over here. Fool was damn stupid enough to give us his name and flash his cash. So I finally had to yell at them. I felt bad, but
And
at that
Derek
point,
and I had
to
moved
yell
on.
and
Right.
say, but wait, I had to yell and be like, get away from my fucking wallet. And they
Yeah.
were like, whoa. I'm like, and then I had to go. So that was my first impression. And then getting in there, we walked around the whole convention while Derek looked to park his suitcase, because Derek was the one the night before who said,
let's all bring
who
backpacks.
said, let me finish. He said, he said, you know what? I'm packing light. And Brian's like, yeah, I'm packing light
Yeah,
too.
I did.
Because, I only need like one or two things. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I got a gym bag I'm carrying around with me. I'm not going to be stupid. You know what? I'm packing light too. So I go home that night, take out everything I packed, and pack a smaller version of everything, forgetting shorts, by the way, which comes into the conversation later. So after repacking my smaller bag, we flash forward to the day we're going to the train. Kathy,
My wife.
your wife, brings you and Derek over to my house to pick me up, and Derek comes in and he's got a big suitcase with him. That
And
he
it was
carrying.
heavy as fuck.
It was heavy as fuck.
Well, thank
had-
God you got rid of those 2 comic books, Derek, because that made all the difference.
I did. I tried to trim the fat when I got here to Brian's. I'm like, this is really heavy. I got to take some stuff out.
Right.
But then, like, the big stuff, the heavy stuff that was in there were the ones that I really wanted signed. It was the Art of Jim Lee and Long Halloween, and which
And
I
they're
didn't even end up getting.
Look at how heavy those
And
are.
Hush, and it was
a nice
just
book.
Yeah. So I took those out, and I mean, granted, I didn't get to see Scott Snyder, so I'm glad that I didn't have Court of Owls with me, but I'm pretty sure that one. I think is that Riddler one is a Tom King. I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
Right. I would have
Paul
had him.
Dano was there.
I know. I heard. I heard he
saw
was
that
there. I
after
think he
the
was there
fact.
Saturday.
So you parted with those two books,
Right.
and it's a good thing you did because
Hefty.
that made no difference.
No, it didn't at all.
So after the 20-minute walk from the train to the convention,
With the luggage.
I've
Which
had
the-
nothing
yeah.
to eat, by the
Yeah.
way, because I was dumb and thought I'll be fine.
Yeah, same here.
Because you and I, we normally don't eat breakfast, right? So so now we're walking around the whole convention. So Derek can park his giant suitcase. No one's there to help him.
No,
And,
I could not find a single person with a Comic-Con like everybody had a Comic-Con badge, but none of them worked there.
That's
Yeah.
Right.
funny that when you said that to me, it was the first time I ever thought, does anybody work here?
Right. And the thing is on Friday, the next day, I did see a bunch of people.
Yeah, but not
Yeah.
on Thursday.
that were clearly like
They
employed
were
there.
Yeah.
ghosts.
But like
they
staff.
were ghosts.
Totally
So-
ghosts on Thursday.
So I'm already like
Hour and a half.
I'm already
Yeah.
dehydrated, pissed off
Yeah.
because I met up with the Van Buren boys, and so I'm having this time. And then I went around the whole. Finally Derek's like, "All right, just go. I'm gonna find a place, and then I'll meet up with you." So I'm like sweaty. I'm feeling terrible. I'm like, "This is gonna suck." And Brian's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "This is gonna suck."
Well, and as soon as we walked into that exhibit hall, it was like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Oh,
are
yeah.
overwhelmed, and there are crowds of people
Right.
coming every which way.
And we were only on the perimeter too when
Right.
we first
Right.
got there. Like we were
Exactly.
like on the edge of that room.
Yep. So finally, we're going through the day. We're looking for everything, and we come across Jeff Loeb's booth. So
Yeah.
I get to meet Jeff Loeb. And
Yeah,
I'm
we
very
finally
happy.
made our way down to Artist Alley.
We make it in a very long line where a million people kept asking me and Brian, "Is this where the line starts?" "No, it's back there." "Is this where the line starts?" "No, it's back there."
Yeah.
I finally get up to Jeff Loeb, super guy, awesome. Did a nice
cool.
doodle in my Hush graphic novel. I start to feel sick. I am sick, dehydrated. I got a headache. Derek, you said my lips
Yeah,
were...
when you turned around after you
It
left
was
that
like,
line,
it all a wave of anxiety. And
And
I thought
thought-
I thought I was going to throw up on Jeff.
I thought it was from meeting him. I thought you were just
you're
like, because he was white.
starstruck?
He was white as a ghost. His lips were purple.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I was a little nervous, but I had met celebrities
Yeah.
before and not had that reaction.
but then you were like, I need to sit down.
Yeah, so I sit down. You guys
So I
take
knew.
care of me. And by this time, it's like, what, 3? I'm like, all right, I want to go check into the hotel anyway. We haven't checked into the hotel.
Yeah.
So let's go get a cab, because I'm sure it's just as easy as Law & Order makes it out to be. Let's go get a cab or an Uber. And Brian's like, I don't know how to do an Uber. I'm like, me neither.
Well, I didn't have the app
No,
on
you
my
didn't have
phone
the
at the
app
time. I knew how to do Uber,
right,
but I didn't have
right.
the
No,
app
hold on.
downloaded.
I'm getting there. I'm
Yeah.
getting there. Hold on. So
Were there cabs outside of the
there were
convention
no
center?
cabs outside.
But what were there, Mark?
Were there,
What
Mark?
I don't even know what they're called. I called them
Rickshaws?
carriages.
No, they're not carriages, because
It's like
carriages
a
are the
rickshaw,
ones.
but like with a bicycle.
Yeah,
There
a
was-
bike shop.
Yeah, it was a bike shop, and tons of them. And nobody wanted to do it at first.
A disco on wheels? I don't know.
That's kind of what they turn into at night.
And they kept like as soon as
Which
they
they
saw
found
us
out.
looking around,
Yeah.
they were trying to lure us over
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Right.
And we're like,
No,
no, we're not
we're
gonna
not
fit,
gonna fit.
in
Look at
that.
Yeah.
So finally,
They wanted
we're
to take all
walking-
3 of us.
And my suitcase.
And your suitcase.
So we're taking a walk down. We're walking further away. Finally, I'm about to collapse. So I see one of those fucking things, and I'm like, fuck,
Coming
I'm
right
just
at
gonna
us.
get it.
Yeah, so
I
Mark flags him
flag it,
down.
and he's trying to get us all on there. And then I realized it's a lot smaller than it looks up close. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, we're not going to do it. And the guy was very persistent. He's like, you get on there. You do it. You're going to do it. Well, wait a minute. How much is this? It's $10. What? Get on there. I take you. I'm like, I'm afraid now if I don't do this guy's going to kill me. So Brian goes on the thing with me, and Derek's like,
I
no,
walk.
Yeah,
I'm
Dick,
going to
I'll
walk.
meet you
Because there
there.
was no way the 3 of us were
Yeah.
fitting on that
Exactly,
freaking thing.
despite what that guy said. So Derek's like, I'm going to walk. I'll meet you at the hotel.
Yeah, Mark and I just had backpacks with us.
Right. So he starts up the bike. We start going. Next thing I know, he starts playing music.
Oh, he had the music
it is
going before that,
It is
too.
the most, I don't want to sound offensive here, but it is the gayest music that you
Yeah.
could hear in
Yeah.
your life.
It's 1970s disco nightclub.
We were CNC Music Factory that day.
At one
right?
point, you said, "I bet you the next song is going to be "It's Raining Men,"
And it was
and you
close.
weren't far off.
Right. And the sun's going down at this point.
Yeah.
So he puts all the
Romantic.
lights on.
Yeah,
So
the
Brian and
neon
I are
lights.
having this romantic ride And everybody's with some guy yelled, "You're supposed to hold hands." And like, I'm covering my eyes like I fucking hate New York. I'm dehydrated. I'm pissed. I almost threw up on Jeff Loeb. I'm like, and so when we got to the hotel,
Yeah, you weren't having the best Thursday, that's for sure.
I said, you know what, you guys. Go ahead. Go back to the thing. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to hydrate. I'm going to get better. And I'm
well,
gonna
how much did this cost?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
When we got to the hotel.
Yeah, the $10.
After we almost died because this guy's weaving in through gridlock traffic. He's going through an intersection where, like, we're not supposed to be going through because the other lane of traffic had the right of way.
Saw that a lot.
But this guy decides he's going to cut through all the cars because it happened to be gridlocked at the time.
And they're all beeping at us.
And I'm looking at this thing, and he's like not inches, he's like millimeters away from people's mirrors.
Right. Oh shit!
He's gonna like pull somebody's mirror off with this goddamn bike.
Yep.
Huffing and puffing, too.
Oh God, yeah. So we get to the hotel, and that's what I said.
So we get to the hotel, and I ask how much it is, and it is quite a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot of money. I'm not going to say how much, but it was enough for me to call my wife up and beg for her forgiveness. Fortunately for me, she thought that the whole scenario was so fucking funny. She gave me a pass on this one, and
It's funny now.
It's funny now, but it wasn't at the time.
No.
So
it was actually funny. Like
funny.
It was funny like 15
laughing.
minutes after. Like
Yeah.
we're in the hotel lobby because we got there before Derek. Poor Derek is walking with his luggage.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Derek got there around the same time we did, and he walked.
I know.
You were just like a straight shot down 8th, right?
Yeah.
Up a couple blocks and then over. And which was,
Because when
fine.
Derek and I went back that night and we did the Blumhouse panel, and that ended at 8, 9 o'clock
Right,
at night.
and we walked
you
back.
guys got-
We
you
just
guys
walked
got
straight
back
up
around
8th
there.
Street. And it took,
Right.
40 minutes maybe?
Yeah.
And that's
No.
with stopping at a
Not
7-Eleven
even.
and a
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
no,
you guys
that,
had
yeah,
stopped,
we
too.
stopped.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, I'm like, go ahead, have a good time. I'm gonna, change into some shorts. I'm gonna cool off. I'm gonna get hydrated. I'll be good. And that's
Yeah.
right. I got my sketch pad out. I decided to do some drawing.
And that's when you
AMC
realize
Fairfest
you
was
didn't
on.
have any
I opened my
shorts.
bag and there's no fucking shorts. And I'm like, fucking, if I had brought the fucking gym bag, I would have had a plethora of clothing to choose from. But somebody decided to pack light by not packing light.
Oh, you
I
packed
offered
light
to
up.
buy you shorts.
No,
But then you might have not had that fun ride.
Right.
that's true.
The rickshaw ride.
The memories were so. Anyway, bottom line, the first night for me was other than meeting Jeff Loeb, who was super cool. It was not a fun day.
No.
Saturday, I got rest, got up.
You mean
and-
Friday.
Friday, excuse
Yeah,
me.
we were
Saturday,
there Thursday
went
and Friday.
Right. Whatever.
Tito was there all
whatever.
weekend.
Friday, we got up, and that day was awesome. Everything about from start to finish. I felt
You were raring to
better.
go. And
Yep, we went there
did
with no
great.
problem. Brian figured out the Uber app, and then
Grabbed
Uber
dunks.
is
Yeah.
we grabbed dunks, we had coffee, we were looking at the city.
Yeah.
And then
We actually lucked out because Tito had gotten there a lot earlier than we did. He
Yeah.
was in the queue for everybody to be let in, and
Oh, that's right. We
who
timed
showed
it
up at 10
perfectly.
o'clock.
Yep.
And we were
ended up
just
hanging out in the lobby, sitting
hanging
at a
out in the
table.
lobby
we started
because
seeing people going up the
Oh,
escalator.
because we
okay.
tried to go down into Artist Alley. We saw that poor soul that had like passed out and was convulsing. Remember?
Yeah, and it wasn't
that's
me.
right.
Yeah.
So I felt better. I'm like, I'm not the most pathetic person
Yeah.
here.
That's
Okay.
right.
good.
So we ended up going back
Yeah,
up.
let's go back up.
Yeah, and we were waiting, and that's when they started letting everybody up. So we just got in line with everybody that was coming up.
So
with the
this
first
is
wave of
weird because
people from the queue.
This was Friday the 13th. On our way to the convention, leaving the hotel,
That's right.
we had to walk under a ladder.
Oh, we did. I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
Right.
so
The
there was
ladder
no
and the
avoiding
light.
it.
They were changing a light bulb
In the
right in the
hotel
foyer,
lobby,
right when
yeah.
you open up the doors.
Oh.
And these
Who was turning the ladder?
That's right. How many people does it take to change a light bulb?
I saw only one guy.
Yeah, there were two guys.
Only one.
So one guy must have been turning
So,
the ladder.
so we're thinking, so I'm thinking, this day's gonna suck
Way to
even
bring it
more
back,
now.
Tito.
But it didn't. We got in with no problem. We got there early to the Jim Lee thing.
Yep.
The guy
Yeah.
let us go right in there.
We did.
Yeah.
It was great. It was
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember
There was
you
a
guys
short
saying
line
that.
for me to meet Dee Schneider. It wasn't
Yeah.
that long. And I
Yeah.
wasn't even looking for him. I just came across him.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I know that guy's old, but I'm pretty sure he could still kick everybody's ass in the
Dee
world.
Snider?
Who's that?
Yeah,
Dee Snyder?
dude,
He
he's
looked the
yeah.
same
He
from the
looked
picture
the
that you showed me. He
fucking
looked exactly
same.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you had something for him to sign in.
Yeah,
It just kinda
Holliston.
worked out really well.
Holliston, yeah, because he was in that show. So I have Adam Adam Green, Joe Lynch, and now I have Dee Schneider's autograph, so that's cool. But the highlight was meeting one of my favorite artists, Jim Lee. I got to talk with him. I told him he was a huge inspiration, that
We got
I watch
to
all
watch him.
his...
We got to watch him work.
We did.
He did a
I told
sketch.
him it was, I told him all his Twitch videos I would watch every night while drawing. He's like, oh, so are you published yet? And I got to tell him about Werewolf with a Chainsaw. He loved my Eraserhead shirt. It was a wonderful bonding.
Yeah,
and
he
was
actually had a great
super
comment
cool.
about that when you said Werewolf with a
Oh
Chainsaw.
yeah, he's like, oh, so what's it about?
He says, oh, so what's it
I
about?
said, that's exactly what you think it is. And he's like, good, congratulations, man. That's awesome. And it just felt really good. So meeting him was the highlight of that day. But also just hanging out after, going to that awesome restaurant by the hotel.
Yeah, because our hotel was up in Hell's Kitchen. And it was a funky little neighborhood.
It was
The
a great
hotel
hotel,
was really
Wicked
really
cool.
funky.
Like a
great
retro,
Very
kinda-
retro.
Yeah.
I missed out on a flash tattoo.
That's
I-
right. They
I-
were giving flash tattoos. They had
between $35 and $55. I'm like, I totally would
could've
have
got a
gotten
tattoo
one.
at the
Why didn't
hotel.
We could have got flash tattoos.
Yeah.
I would have been into that.
We could have
Yeah.
had matching flash tattoos.
Yeah, we could have got like the 3GD
and
logo.
I mean, and I don't mean the flash. I mean, like a flash tattoo.
Although
is
that would have
like
been
a
cool, too.
Quick, small tattoo.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant the Flash.
No.
Oh,
No, they're like
no, when
three.
they say
cool.
flash, it's
I
like
mean,
whatever
if you
they have
wanted
the
the
little
flash
pictures
logo,
of.
you
Could I
could have
get a
gotten it, I
flash?
guess. Yeah.
It's like we have 5 things: a bat, a dagger, and a fucking hat.
so
Yeah.
I
Which
couldn't
one
have
do you
gotten.
want
Oh
for
well, then that's
$35?
false advertisement.
Well,
Well, you gotta know what
not
the
if you know what
term
flash
flash
tattoos
If you watch
are.
Ink Master, you would
Well,
know what a
A,
flash
I don't,
tattoo
and,
is.
and B, I'm not that smart. You got to cater. You got to dumb it down for us
Truly.
stupid
I
people.
You know,
Truly.
I have the Wally West?
you would probably like it because it's. I mean,
What,
being
flash
an art.
tattoos?
No, Ink Master. Being an artist, like you would probably
that's-
dig
Oh
that.
yeah,
It's-
maybe.
it's
I'll
real-
give it
it's
a
cool.
shot. All right, I'll put it on the list.
Would you have on that Thursday? Would you have considered yourself a rube?
A wise man once said, "There is a sucker born every minute."
Barnum, sir.
Yeah,
Rube?
yeah.
That's a polite word
Yeah.
for it. No, I was a fucking moron. There's no, I was an idiot. I was an idiot, and I totally own up for it. I blame Derek for packing light. That's the only thing I blame. But everybody, I tried to buy these guys dinner like 6 times to make up for our romantic cab ride. I was like, Brian, let me get you something.
Can I ask a question?
I felt bad that you had to pay what you paid for that fucking thing. I was gonna
Nobody else wants
take
to
any
put
more
these
of your
comics
money.
in their bag.
Well, no, because it was. I guess Brian.
I could have.
Yeah,
I didn't even
would've,
think.
But
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's
they
all right.
weren't
Next
with
time.
you when you
It's
picked
too
me
heavy.
up.
I'll
Next
just
time,
leave it.
baby.
I know.
Next
Brian,
time.
can I store these here over the weekend?
And poor Derek's out on the stoop doing
And on
this.
top of it, like one of the biggest ones in there was the Long Halloween, which I didn't get.
Yeah.
signed.
Well, yeah. And at least you got the art by
I got
Jim,
Hush.
the art by Jim Lee one signed.
Yeah,
Because that had to
yeah.
be weighing you down. That was huge.
Yeah, and big, gigantic hardcover.
Yeah.
But-
And then you buried it at the bottom of the bag. I couldn't even read it on the train. Derek, if anybody ruined this trip, it wasn't you. Not at all. In fact, dude, you saved my life. You brought me water, a candy bar. You
Hey,
got my blood.
I
back up.
recognize low blood sugar
Oh,
and
God.
dehydration.
Dude, Derek was the first person I saw there, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "I don't think Mark is
Is doing good.
doing good right
Yeah.
now." And the first thing I thought is like, "Oh, he's angry. Was the train ride bad?" And then you come walking around the corner. I'm like, "Oh, he's not doing good. Like he needs a chair.
I was worried.
Yeah.
Not doing
Yeah.
good."
Oh, thank
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Thank
Tito
you.
with his
Pissed
portable
off.
For
stool.
Tito's stool.
Phrasing.
Well, I don't think I'd ever use that in this sentence, but
That's a good stool.
thank
Were they
you.
selling those there? Because I saw a bunch of people
Everybody's
with that
got-
specific.
Yeah, seriously, man. You can
I'm
tell the
fucking
veterans.
getting one for next time.
I
Yeah.
want
Because
to.
those looked heavy duty. Those
I
were.
want a booth, and I would just sell
Stools.
stools, sleeves, fucking tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Better tubes too than the ones they had because they
Better
were
tubes, whatever.
small and
All that shit.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like those guys are just making fucking money
hand over fist. Yep.
And everybody had those fucking disc
Yeah.
stools everywhere. You see
So
them
so
everywhere.
Tito was our Obi-Wan. He was the Sam Elliott in Big Lebowski. He would show up when we needed guidance and advice, smoke a few cigarettes, and then go back to his crew. But we could always summon him via phone if we needed something. And sure enough,
Providing
he
you
would
could get
appear.
a signal.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
not a lot of
that
signal.
was the big
Services,
problem.
fucking shit.
Maybe next year we'll bring like two-way radios. We'll
Yeah.
bring little walkie-talkies.
Oh God, next year. Well, I'll tell you. If first of all, again, if it doesn't fall on the Monster Expo thing, I'm going.
Yeah.
But I had to miss Monster Expo this year, and I heard it was an awesome show too.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, this year it was the same
they were-
weekend.
It
the
was,
same-
yeah.
Yeah, all right. We talked about it because
So-
normally New York is the week before.
right. So I'm hoping it goes back to its original week.
Me too. Me too.
I hope so.
Any reason? Did you hear any reason why they moved it?
No, I was
ahead?
surprised. I was glad I didn't ask for that those days off
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I
For the
usually
same
do
reason
like in
they had bad
advance.
Wi-Fi, just poorly managed. Nobody working there. Couldn't take Derek's suitcase.
It fucked up
Well, I
McFarland's
found
schedule.
someone. I
was gonna
finally
be
did
there.
find a worker. They told me where the coat check was. I go down there and it's pitch black. No one's there. No one's covering. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe I can find someone to radio and like. But no, they weren't using that
Find
one.
someone to radio.
There was no sign that said like this coat station, coat check closed. Go upstairs. No, there was none of that. So
No.
thankfully,
No, they could have used some signage.
Yeah.
There could have been some signage.
directional signage was
Yeah.
not present.
Yeah. If you already have a badge, go right to the lobby. So
Right.
maybe something like that.
Go in the green door.
So that was Comic-Con, baby.
Yeah. All in
But,
all, we had a good time.
overall, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would go back.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys did.
I'm gonna be more prepared, but I'd go back. But I
You just
did
gotta
kick
get that first one out of the way.
Wait, I did get because I got pushed into the CD thing and then the ride thing by the scary guy. But the table, we got.
table.
I fought,
that's right.
I
You
fought
guys
for our table, Brian.
Yeah, you
table.
did.
I did. I
Mark put his foot down.
I
did.
did. I was like,
right.
Brian's already sharing a bed with me. We've already had a romantic car ride.
That's right.
I
Mark
gotta
and I
look
had
out
to
for
double
my
up in
man.
that hotel room.
That's right. The spooning.
In
was
more ways than one.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Mark has a gentle touch. He's a big guy, but
I do. I'm a teddy
he's
bear.
very soft.
No, but there were. I mean, there were a lot of tables there, but there were a lot more people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Right.
so you would have, if you needed to sit down, you had to circle around like a shark looking
And
for
we
somebody,
were, yeah. And
about to get ready.
Right.
Right.
Looking for
Yeah.
people to getting ready to get up.
Yep.
And I did see a family that looked like, I said, Mark, hold up. I said, I think these people are getting ready to vacate their
yeah.
table. And sure enough, they were. But I'm not going to get in their face. So I'm standing
Right,
back.
give them their space. Let them,
exactly.
Right,
Let them do their thing. I'm not going to rush them,
It's like
you know?
that's like when someone like parks waiting for a parking
Right,
spot
exactly.
to open up, and they
Totally,
sit
yeah.
there waiting. I purposely take
Take your
longer.
time, yeah.
I'm like,
So I didn't want to do that, you know, because I want
Right.
to sit, and I'm looking, you know, I figure like if I don't crowd them, they're not going to do that. So
Right.
they were getting up, but just as they were, like when their little kid was getting out of his chair, this woman came over, and Mark's like, no, no, that's ours.
I had enough.
And even the dad was like, no, these guys have been waiting, and she, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Step off, bitch.
Yeah.
Well, then when I came over, there was a seat that was finally open. That was open behind us, and I
Yeah.
went to go grab it, and this other group had started to make their way to the table, and it
Yeah.
was like the last chair at the table.
Yeah.
And I felt bad, so I let them have it, and
Yeah,
I
but she
immediately
gave you-
regretted it.
But she gave you the chair when she was done. They
Yeah,
weren't
after
there
she
for
was
her.
done.
Yeah, she wasn't there.
Yeah, they
she
weren't
wasn't
there
using
too
it too
long.
long. Because there were 3 seats at our table,
Right.
Yeah.
And somebody had taken
Somebody
it because nobody was
moved it
there,
over
and I was
there.
getting ready to
Right.
put like our bags on
Right.
just to make room on the table,
Right.
Right.
You
But
know,
we didn't know how long you were going to be.
Right.
on,
Yeah.
'cause you were still in line.
and then this guy's like, "Hey, are you using that chair?" I'm like, "Nah,
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Go ahead."
Yeah.
You
There
know?
are definitely a lot of like. It's weird because you said you were standing in line talking to a woman, right?
Yeah.
You stand in line for long enough, you start talking to people around you, you realize that like
Oh, God.
obviously you like the same thing this
Right.
person likes.
Oh, yeah.
You
Not
have
the
a really
guy.
great
Not the guy
conversation.
behind me and Brian in the Jeff Loeb line, though.
Oh,
Remember
no,
that,
no.
dude?
I don't remember
You
that.
don't?
Oh no, I do remember that
I think
dude.
he was
yes.
part of the reason I got ill.
Yeah.
I had to listen to. He literally sounded like this.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
were
but
some.
he's trying to connect with you guys.
No, he
Yeah.
wasn't talking
No?
to us. He was
Yeah,
talking
no.
to his wife.
Talking to you or his
girlfriend,
friend or whatever
his
it was.
sister.
Yeah.
Got to be his sister.
I had a couple of
sister wife.
strange ducks in lines with me.
But then you
some
fall
places.
in, you go into the cafeteria or some other things,
Right.
And it's fucking dog eat dog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like you got to.
Oh yeah, no, it's true.
I
Because
kicked
I
him
went
out.
down
Yeah.
twice to get the food.
Chair sharks and
Yeah. I found my footing at that. I'm like, no more.
Yeah.
This table's mine. You don't know what I've been through for you,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Sometimes
I'm
you
not
walk
going through what I
crowds,
went through
yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah. And then by the end of the day, I became a man, and I'm ready for next
There
year.
you go.
right,
Uh huh.
definitely.
So that was New York.
Yeah.
Fun times
Yeah,
all
we
around.
had a good time.
Good.
See you next
had a
year.
good
See you
time.
next year. And that's our appetizer,
Pretty much.
right?
Anything else, Tito?
I'm
We've done
full.
most of the talking. You
know.
wanna
No,
any other stories you got?
no, nothing I can think of off the top. I think this was probably one of the lighter years for me.
Yeah.
Where I got some things I
So,
want to sign. I met
do
a
you go
couple
with the
people.
same group of guys? Like, you had like 6 other people with you.
Yeah, so-
like we kept meeting up with you, but you had your other group of guys that you always go down with.
So
Right,
the
which
first
we
year
thought
I
were
went,
imaginary at first.
Right.
No, they're real people.
We
So
thought it was a George
Yeah.
Cross thing.
They're all my in-laws.
We realized
except
they were
for
real
one.
people when they started hitting on Roman.
Yeah, right. They're all my in-laws except for one. He's a Todd, who was a friend of one of my cousin-in-laws. But
Okay.
Jared, who was probably the guy talking to Ronan, because they have the best relationship. He's kind of like a brother-in-law more than a
Tired,
cousin-in-law.
Yeah.
And that's totally something I feel like
Want
he would
some
say.
candy?
Yeah.
Or Jamie.
Dude, that's
Jamie,
what I was waiting
yeah.
for.
Jamie
I
might have
think it
said
was
that
Jamie,
too.
'cause I
Jamie
think
would
he-
talk
yeah.
like that too.
Tired, buddy? Are you warm?
Yeah.
You warm
Yeah.
enough? What the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
that's it. Yeah, you
Yeah,
look
so
cold.
was
Are
that-
you
yeah,
tired?
yeah.
Are you cold? You
One
look
of
tired.
them doesn't have kids, and the other one has kids that are still really, really young.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
he hasn't transitioned into like talking to a
Teenager yet.
teenager. But Jared, he used to go. He went a couple of years in a row for a bachelor party when he got married. He was like, "We should go," and 6 of us went, and we had a blast. And I was like, "What if we tried to do it again? What if we tried to do it every year?"
Yeah.
So we just keep going back.
Which I'm hoping is what this is going to turn into. 'Cause
It's
Yeah.
fun.
I think it was
if
great.
I hope that it could.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something new. There's always somebody new.
Yeah.
Even the year after the pandemic, I went and I had a blast. There were not nearly as many vendors and the
Yeah.
big names weren't there, but the people who were there were still really, really cool. And there's always something fun going on. There's something for everybody there.
As long as we can Uber more, then
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Oh yeah, you might as well.
We're good with that now.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Shout out Josh Hurst because he's
That's
there every year.
right.
Oh, yeah,
saw
we did meet
first.
Josh.
I
I
can't
didn't-
forget
I got
that,
to
yeah.
shout out to Josh.
Right.
I forgot that he wasn't going to be there all weekend, but he ended up being there on Saturday too.
Yeah.
So I was able to see and talk to him.
Oh, cool.
And he gave Ronan this really cool MF Doom pin that they had at the booth. I hope this doesn't get you.
You
in
see the
trouble,
masks
Josh.
that they had too? The MF
Yeah,
Doom masks?
out of metal. Yeah,
Those
things
look
are
really cool.
legit. They're
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah.
How much were those going
Chris,
for?
baby.
100, I think.
100.
Yeah.
That's not bad if they're metal.
No, they're legit metal with
Yeah.
leather, and they come in the bag. And,
Did you
yeah.
get one?
No.
I
spent
thought
too
that had
much
your
money.
name written all over it.
Now.
If I had spent less money, then I probably would.
So we saw Josh and his wife Jen. They were there, both of them. They're
Yeah.
awesome. And Josh
Yep.
was able to give a couple of copies of Werewolf with a Chainsaw to Terry Moore, artist Terry Moore,
Oh, he
which
told
is
me.
great.
Yeah, when I saw him on
So
Saturday, he was
cool.
telling me.
That's
And we
nice.
got
Author of
photographic-
Rachel Rising.
Yes. And we have photographic evidence that he has them.
Nice.
So there we
Very
go.
cool.
All right.
That's
All
cool.
right.
That's Comic-Con.
That was Comic
Why don't
Con,
we
man.
get to
What a
the-
weekend.
What a weekend.
What a
Let's get to
weekend.
the main course. Ready
Yeah.
for the main course? Here
Let's
we
do
go.
the
All right.
main.
The main
Course.
Thank you.
Course.
Course. Just
Corpse.
like sand.
Corpse.
It's course.
Like sand.
The kids everywhere. like course through the hourglass. There we go.
These are the podcasts of our lives.
Why don't you try some noodles? They're worms. I mean, they're worms. They're only noodles, Michael.
Once more we gather for another fine show of 3 geeky dads and the 4th, who is Tito. We continue our month of the Halloween season, talking extra and horror as if Mark needs a reason. The theme of the month is slashes and killers, with a movie tonight filled with time-traveled chillers. It's totally killer, and it's out now to see. And for those who have Prime, you can see it for free. The movie has thrills and slashings and gore, and time travel invented in 3 hours or 4. And for some, yes, that seems so far-fetched and quite lame, like that bullshit time travel plot in Avengers Endgame. So sit back, relax, as our show drives you mad as we talk time travel slashers, the good and the bad. Let Derek and Brian and Mark be your guide, along with good Tito, because he has no place to hide. And if these rhyming intros are simply not for you, well, all I can say is that simply find a show that can do all this very last minute, jerks.
Hey, because you wrote that about a half an hour ago
I'm
on
glad
your
you
phone.
didn't just rhyme you with you.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a craft. Bringing it. I have a craft. So,
Good job.
Totally Killer.
to continue our slasher-themed Halloween month, we did watch Totally Killer. Opening thoughts. Who's starting?
I went first last time.
I think
Is it
it's
me?
you.
Am I starting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get into what I liked and didn't like as we do the categories, but overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great idea, super fun film, awesome cast, good kills. That though, again, I'll get into more as we do the categories. So those are my opening thoughts. Really enjoyed it. I watched it with Sarah. We both really liked it.
Yeah.
Derek.
I live for 80s nostalgia, so this one it has a good amount. Other than the little jokes about how different it was compared to the overall look, other than that stuff, it kind of lacked, the big 80s vibe. I was kind of jonesing for, but overall, good flick, lots of fun. I'm a Kieran Sherpa.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
I think I said it right.
Shipka. Yeah.
I like
Miss
her.
Kitka.
I'm a fan of her for sure. The rest of the cast is pretty funny, and they work well off each other. So, and it's the kind of movie you can't take too seriously. So I think it's just you just sit back, you enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
And I did.
Oh, was she Sabrina?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She was one from
I didn't
Sabrina.
watch that show. Was that good?
Good, very good.
To see that.
Yeah, it's very
That's
good.
awesome.
Okay.
And she was great. in
Definitely worth a watch.
Yes.
Brian.
Yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun. I watched this with my wife, and we both enjoyed it, really. Like you said, Derek doesn't have a lot of nostalgia. They have just enough 80s music to remind you that it's an 80s movie, but the outfits are definitely on point. So, I thought it was really cool. I like the whole time travel aspect of it as well, and just thought it was a really fun movie. I'll watch it again.
Agreed. I thought this was a blast, and it's falling into this category of like these newer slasher fun movies that I'm really liking. I really like the soundtrack. There were some songs that were like Bananaramas in there, and you're like, okay. But I like that song, but I like that I was hearing songs that I don't typically hear in like an 80s nostalgia film.
Not the same old.
Yeah, there was
Right.
like some freestyle music. Like Let the Music Play, which is like a great song. And that scene is really, really fun. I thought everybody was really, really funny in it. I also like in a lot of these movies now, like Randall Park pops up. Like a lot of these funny guys will kind of just appear in these movies and not major roles, but background roles. And it adds to
And they make the most of it.
Yeah. But,
a lot of chewing the scenery.
Yeah. Right. They're having a good time. And I love
and you have to in movies like this.
I love time travel movies, so watching this movie and I enjoy watching a time travel movie and just being like, oh no, you can't do that. That doesn't work. I love that.
This is all wrong.
Yeah, I love it, but I can still appreciate the movie as being a fun movie.
Sure.
Yeah. So
anything
overall,
with
good.
time travel, you're gonna get like those moments of no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But you can enjoy it on a basic level. Like I don't think you could invent time travel again. In the introduction, it would probably take longer than like a couple of hours to figure out time travel.
Yeah.
Well, she had her mom's notebook.
But
She spent a few hours
we'll
on
get to it. We'll get to it. We're gonna get to all this. Categories. Shall we do it? Let's go right into it. Okay.
All right. Favorite scenes.
My favorite scene is when she first meets her mom. And she's a total bitch.
Playing
The
dodgeball.
dodgeball scene was great.
It's a very almost kind of Freaky Friday thing. It's like the mom is just the way she is in the beginning, and you go back and you just think, well, what were my parents like when they were young? I'm pretty sure my dad was exactly the same he is now, so that would be boring as hell. But I'm
Big Reagan fan.
But I'm sure my mom was somebody completely different. And she was I'm like, I loved that. I just loved her going back into school. And I friggin' love, besides all the kills, because I thought the kills were really well done. But what stuck in my mind more than anything was the mom getting into the station wagon filled with smoke.
Oh, I know.
With the two kids. Yeah, it was
Because
awesome.
that was getting into my aunt's car. That was
We
getting
said
into
the
my
same
mom's
thing.
friend's car.
That is so
was
80s.
a thing.
Yes.
And while I'm glad it didn't get too preachy.
And you can hear the two little kids in the back going,
Yeah,
and
totally.
they're like coughing.
And I'm glad it didn't get too preachy about the whole outdated mentality of the 80s versus now, because it easily could have done that.
But there were a few comments
There
which were funny.
but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly.
And it didn't get too overbearing for me. But that particular
Flying must
gag.
be insane.
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
But that
Flying must
particular
be good.
gag was dead on, and that's all I can remember.
Yeah.
I was just like, that is the 80s right there.
Yeah.
Like the legitimate 80s, not the glorified 80s that we
Yeah.
always see and
Right.
everything. That's just something that happened every
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
like
those
she
kids
shows
weren't
up.
wearing seatbelts.
She shows up at the high school and she makes
Stop.
up a fake name on the spot, and
Yep.
and she says, "Don't you need to verify anything to verify?
Right,
What do you think this is? The CIA?
From Canada.
That sounds made up. Well, it's a
Albert
real
Island.
place."
Yeah, Prince Albert Island. LaFleur.
And I did love the end when they were all spinning around on the,
Oh, and the
time
Gravitron.
device and how what's his face got
That's
it.
what it's called.
Yeah.
I couldn't
the
think of the
splat.
name.
Yeah, the splat. There was some good
Yeah.
stuff in there.
And she goes, "Pink mist."
Pink Mist, yeah. Oh, it's Pink Mist.
How about yours, Derek?
I definitely liked the finale in the Gravitron thing. But I loved the house party. Once she gets in and like just all the shit that you see going on, and when Tiffany's upstairs, like they're making out, and like she has some really funny lines,
Yeah.
and then her whole murder that happens is that was my favorite.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part.
That was a
That
good
girl
part.
is from Scream 6.
Oh, okay.
Who is she in that?
She was the second. She was one of the killers, the daughter. Remember, it was the brother and the sister and the father.
Oh,
And the
yes,
father,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I got to see that one again.
Yeah,
Was that the most recent one?
That was
Yeah.
the most
Yeah.
recent one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
New York one.
New
Yeah.
York.
I
Yep.
plan on rewatching all of
Yeah.
those actually,
Yeah.
even the bad ones.
Yeah.
There's even a kill on like a rickshaw with the
With the loud music and the
loud
neon.
music blasting.
Two guys on their honeymoon.
It could have ended that way.
It could have. It
We
really.
were damn close to those crowds. Any one of them.
Right.
Any one of them could have just been against gay marriage and been like, nope.
Not today.
What do they know?
Not in New York.
Money always wins out.
New York is very liberal.
Money always wins out.
That's it.
Yeah, I know, but I've watched Taxi Driver a number of times. And I'll tell you one
He
thing.
was no Travis Bickle, I can
No,
tell
he
you
wasn't.
that.
Thank God. Yeah, no. Someday a real rain will come, wash all the scum off the streets. Huh? No, none of that. I don't know what accent that was. I'm sorry. It was a rough weekend. Leave me alone.
While he's blasting his raining men. A real rain is going to come.
I'm like looking around. Where are all the cabs? McCoy comes out of the office. He hails a cab in 5 seconds while talking. I've seen
Yeah,
him do it.
I
Law
know.
and Order's lied to me.
That's TV for you, man.
Brian, how about you? What's
Yeah,
your favorite
I
scene?
like the whole thing of like when they went to the cabin. And she was trying to convince them to not go to the cabin because she, being from the future, knew what was going to happen.
Yep.
She knew the order of the
Yep.
kills and who was going to get killed next. And she's like, birthdays are overrated. Why don't we do something else? So they say we're going to go to my family's
Parents'
condo.
condo.
Yeah.
But then she falls
dude,
asleep in the
yeah.
car, and they're fucking with her in the car by turning the music up. Oh, you're tired? They turn the music way up, and she falls asleep
They
anyway
do.
and wakes
They are
up.
mean
And
girls.
they did go to the
Mean
cabin.
girls.
And then she says, I can't believe you brought us to this cabin in the woods in the middle of nowhere with a killer, on the loose, and they start screaming. And she thinks that she got to them.
Oh, yeah.
But they're like, I forgot the vodka. No, it's just little moments like that. But
Yeah.
the whole thing at the cabin I thought was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just wanted to party and the whole thing about like the pot. And she's telling, there's nothing but
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
but
Oh,
five
just
times.
twigs and leaves.
just twigs and leaves.
Just twigs
I
and
can give you
dirt.
a gummy.
Yeah,
that's
with
much
like
better
this
than
big
this.
that's got 100
How
times
many
more
did you have?
potency.
I had 5.
Why don't I
Why
feel
am I-
anything?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, those are pot brownies? Why don't I feel anything? No, there's just a lot of good stuff that happened in that cabin scene, man. That was great.
Yeah.
Cool.
They were getting locked out and trying to break in.
Oh, it's great. Both those scenes, like her trying to get in the cabin and her trying to get in the party,
Yeah,
are a lot of fun.
yeah.
She keeps getting kicked out of the party.
Those are on
Exactly.
my next
Those are-
one. My least.
I got I love the way, I guess it doesn't technically open this way, but the fight between the killer and Pam, the mother,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
lot of fucking fun, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
like going at it, and I was like, oh, this is a fun fight scene. I
Right.
can't believe this is happening so soon. Mm-hmm. And then she gets it, and I'm like, oh fuck, she just died.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
She held
What
her
the
own.
hell?
So Derek and
She
I
held
saw
her
the
own.
Derek
Yeah.
and I saw the panel with Blumhouse.
Yeah.
And they had Ninotchka Khan, who was the director of this movie. and she was talking about what's her name that played the mother
what's her
From Modern Family.
from Modern Family and from
Bowen.
the
Horrible Bosses.
Yeah.
yes, and how she
Yeah.
she wanted to be in this movie
Yeah.
and she wanted to do her own stunts.
except for the table.
Except for she didn't want to get thrown through the table. So that's the only time that it's
Probably
like
a good
body
idea.
double.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
really?
can't afford to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
It was really well
Yeah.
done. That fight scene was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Jamie eating 5 pot brownies of shitty 80s weed. I just thought it was fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
dirt weed.
I'm like, oh, she's gonna lose her mind, and then I'm like, oh no, the weed was shit back then.
Yeah.
This is hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Like, this is awesome.
Uh-huh.
It's so funny. But those are my 2.
Nice.
You got a scene you didn't like? Scenes you hated?
So I'm combining this with my who I would replace, and it's not because she's a bad actress. The actress was great. It's just the concept. If you're and this is just me being a classicist of time travel. Your time travel helper has to be an old person. It can't be a young kid.
Okay.
So I can't remember the actress, but the one who was playing the mom's daughter,
Yeah.
or the
younger
mom,
version of the mom?
the younger version
Yeah.
of the mom. I
So you wanted an actual Doc Brown.
no, or the mom to be somehow older and
Yeah.
and be the one responsible
Yeah.
for, be her time travel guide,
Mm-hmm.
as it were. I couldn't buy this girl being able to, even having her mom's notes be like, all right, you go out and do something for a couple of hours. I'm going to figure this out, and when I get back, I'm going to have a time machine phone booth ready, like or a photo booth ready.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. So time traveling guides need to be old.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my least favorite thing. I just couldn't buy that this girl could figure out time travel.
You needed a Doctor Who.
You may be a doctor, but I'm the doctor. The definite article, you might say.
Exactly. Again, nothing against the actress. She was great.
She was.
But I would have rather if it, and I don't know how you would have done it this way, but I think you could have reworked it so the mom, the older mom, the one who everybody kind of thought was crazy with their time travel ideas, much like Doc Brown, was the one able to send her back in time somehow. Because that's just a
So
personal-
you wanted her to be living with her grandmother and instead of
Yeah.
her mom.
Yeah. Do it that
So that
way.
she's the mom
Or
age
something.
back then.
Right.
Okay.
I just,
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right. I mean, that's only a few years older than my kids, and I love my kids, but I can't see them figuring out time travel in a matter of days. I love you guys, honey, Emily and Livy. You're very smart, but you got a long way to go.
Well, now he just put
Stephen
it in
Hawking, you are
now,
not.
Now they're gonna.
Yeah.
They're not listening. So that was mine. I combined 2 categories. What about?
Mine, I actually did not enjoy when she got kicked out of both places, and when she was outside, because it was like really cringy how the big jock guy
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
like treated her.
Yeah. But that was the 80s, man.
No, but
Right.
you know what? I don't remember guys being physical with girls like that and like so nonchalantly.
Yeah.
Like everybody, like especially like at the party,
Yeah.
they like he throws her out.
Yeah.
Like wrestles
picks her up, yeah.
picks her up, slams her down on the ground
Yeah.
outside. Like I don't think that wouldn't have flied.
Yeah, I got to go with you on that.
You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
just it was cringy.
Yeah.
I was like, eh.
Yeah.
And I know what I
It's
understand
just
what they
a
were
movie.
going for.
It's
and-
just a movie.
right. I just think
No, but I get it.
If that's the least of the
right. No,
you know,
I mean
the
there
things
wasn't.
that
And the other
Honestly,
thing.
it seemed fairly believable to me.
yeah.
Maybe we grew,
That
maybe
there's
it's where we grew
that
up.
there's
Yeah.
shitty people out there in the world
Oh no, there's totally
that would like
yeah.
do that, but I could absolutely see seeing that and
Yeah.
feeling like, oh,
Well, I mean, in the
no.
jocks in my high school, they all slept with girls. They all
Yeah,
took
I would never.
advantage of
I would
girls,
never.
but
The jocks in my school would never turn away any girl
no,
at a party
exactly.
ever, whether they were part of the group
Yeah.
or there wasn't a list. This wasn't.
Yeah.
knocked
It would have
up and
become,
he-
oh,
he
you wanna
wasn't
get
Greg
in,
Robinson.
But the jock at
Come
this
here with
party
me.
was being manipulated by the other one that said,
is
"What's
true.
his name? Get rid of her." You
That
know,
is
and he
true.
wanted to sleep
Right.
with
and
her.
he ended up
and so-
being the principal.
principal
right?
in the
so
end, yeah.
I kind of get why
He
they
was the
did
gym
it that
teacher.
way. Oh,
Yeah.
he was the gym teacher.
He was the gym
Oh, I thought
That
he turned
was-
out to be the principal.
No, the
after
principal,
the real
was
principal.
the
principal
guy
was
who
the
tried to-
killer.
yeah.
Spoiler.
Spoilers.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
He's the one who's trying to jump
You're
over
right.
the fence
Yes,
and can't
right,
do it,
yes.
which I also thought was
So,
really
If
funny.
Yeah.
you look at it from that point of view, then yes,
Yeah.
that I can see why that was.
All
in
right.
there then. I see both sides of this.
And I
Totally
also
understandable.
didn't like the scene. Well, I'll wait for it because it's really what I would change.
All right, cool.
Wait till next round.
Yeah,
Ryan.
I really don't have anything that I can think of. I'm not going to be so nitpicky because I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was a hell of a lot of fun, and I can't think of anything that I would change or that I didn't like.
What a positive guy.
Well,
Seriously.
honestly, I felt the same way. As I was watching this
Two
movie, I
positive
was
guys.
like, "There's nothing that's really standing out to me right now." There is something I didn't like, and that kind of I was gonna have them lead into what I would change. So there's more. I have some things that I would change,
Okay.
but nothing that.
Yeah.
No scene that stood out. So I would say, I don't know why I'm fucking short story long. I would have liked to have seen more of the altered future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would have liked
Yeah,
more
we didn't
scenes
see
of
that in
what I
Japan.
didn't. The scenes I didn't like, they didn't give me.
Right.
I wanted to see
Although,
those scenes.
okay, but see,
Yeah.
that's my.
Right? They
That's,
didn't give me
that's
those
my
scenes.
You had to
sequel
read them in
idea.
the book.
That's my.
Mine's
sequel
You had to
idea.
read them in the
I had
book.
to read them in the book. I would have
Yeah.
liked to have seen more of the altered stuff
Yeah.
as it was playing out. 'cause
Agreed.
The first time
I thought
you
the whole
see-
thing with her brother.
Oh, it's hilarious. But like the first time you see when the girl and the tour guide or the podcaster
Yeah.
are like, he's like, oh, wait a minute, that took place in the garage, not the bedroom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck, everything's changing
Dude,
now.
I was thinking
wanna
the same
see
thing. They're
more
doing like
things change.
it's like a whole Bill and Ted thing that's going on. It's like,
Oh, yeah,
why
yeah.
don't you leave the trash
Yeah,
can
yeah,
over
right.
here?
I did steal my dad's
Can't think of a
keys.
trash can. Exactly. And he's like starting to think of like, wait a minute, well, I'm
Right.
starting to get this memory
Yeah.
of her, and that's not right.
Like the band changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They thought
Oh,
it was
yeah,
a rune. It's a rune, but it's really just like her
the
initial.
J. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to see more of that.
The singer
Yep.
is like hardcore.
Yeah, and then he
he's
becomes emo.
yeah,
That's
right.
Yeah.
I want to see a few more of those
Yeah.
scenes.
What was it? Once upon a hot tub or a waterbed or something?
Yeah, waterbed away.
Maybe you'll get it.
Yeah, a waterbed away.
That's what it was. Yeah.
in a waterbed.
From like whatever the band's name was before that, where he's like flipping
Right.
somebody off in the poster. He's like all hardcore and
You got something you would change?
That would be my thing.
Yeah.
What I mentioned earlier. I would have had old mom time travel
Oh, you
lady.
did say that you
Yeah.
would combine the two.
yeah.
I would have changed. I didn't like the mask for the killer. I thought it was kind of just.
Oh, I
too-
liked it.
Oh, I liked the
I thought it
mask.
was great.
Yeah, but like
It was like Max Headroom.
It was. It was like.
With an
maybe
arrow.
that's what they were going
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
I mean, I think it was purposely done that way
Yeah.
too. Which,
But I would have developed the killer a little bit more too. Like like when you find out it's Who it him, become- it's who- like a who it- letdown. you Like, find there's out never any that like it is other than the it's fact just that like he was picked on.
Yeah.
There really wasn't any indication that it was him.
Yeah.
And then to like then try to force a curveball and make this other killer pop up and
Yeah.
it's actually the other guy like who wasn't involved in the original murders and he's just he just knows a lot about it and
He's tired of living in his father's shit.
right
Yeah.
like I just kind of I don't know that I didn't dig that I would have done that differently but
I like that lazy. I like how lazy it is. Because it is. It's lazy.
It is.
totally
Yeah.
I like that. It's like, oh, your reason is because you're running out of shit to talk about after
On your
35
podcast,
years.
yeah.
So you need no more murders. I'm like, wow, that's fucking lazy. I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this is like the conversation about like why horror is so great or the slasher genre is so great. Lazy shit like that,
yeah.
right
which like in a, I don't want to say a real movie because this is a real movie.
Yeah.
But in like something else,
in
you'd be
other
like,
genres
In a different
Get the fuck
genre,
outta here.
in a
Exactly.
more, in
When
a more
this, you're just like-
sci-fi
Yeah.
oriented.
Yeah.
Okay, I've
But it's
seen
like I
horror
was
movies
saying,
where they killed
it's
for
like
less.
it's the junk food. It's
the
you know,
junk- yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
all right, it's lazy, but I like it.
Yeah, right.
You know,
everything's forgivable with horror
yeah,
as opposed
Yeah.
to
mostly,
Totally.
mostly, yeah.
I was like, wow,
Well,
that's
I
fucking
get
lazy.
because if you're gearing toward a horror and slasher audience, very few people are going to care about the time travel stuff. You just need a basic knowledge of time travel in movies. You don't need to get into the trinkets of it,
Minutiae.
the minutia.
Yeah, the minutiae.
You know, only assholes like me are like, 4 hours for a time machine. No, but the slasher fan in me is all for it. It's like, yeah, you know what? On that, I don't want to know too much about it.
You definitely need at least an hour. more than an hour. You need a full day to come up with the space time continuum.
And where did you get your flux capacitor from?
no one even hit their head on a toilet.
And that's what makes time travel possible.
Sorry. Who's next?
That would be me.
Brian would.
Well, you
yeah,
said you
I
wouldn't
don't
change
think.
anything, right?
Huh?
You said you wouldn't change anything.
I wouldn't
right?
change anything. No, I don't think so, man. I liked it all. Yeah, I'm sticking with my original one.
All right.
I'm not going to change a thing. Except for maybe Tito did bring something up.
pointing at me.
I think a little bit more of the changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
Right.
agree with Tito there.
He
Like
would add a little more.
a little bit more.
Okay.
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
because
it's-
like now the principal's dead,
right.
so it's got to be a different principal at
Yes,
the school.
yeah.
Let's see who that is.
Exactly. And instead of reading it all in the book,
Right.
during the end credits,
Right. I want to see the stoner cop now.
Yeah.
The,
Yep.
girl, the woman that's.
Nobody was
she's
more
got the
happy
goods.
now that that they've legalized pot.
Did the dad get those amazing abs back? That's what I,
I don't
want to
know.
Oh,
Remember what's
Yeah.
his name from Scary Movie is
Lachlan
the
Monroe.
dad? Yeah,
Lachlan
he's like, I
Monroe.
used to have a 6-pack, and damn, he
Yeah.
did.
It did. It was
Yeah.
His daughter's checking
So
out
it's funny when my wife and I were
gross.
watching it, and we both said, "Oh, this guy looks familiar." So
Yeah.
she starts looking on
baby
IMDb.
Yeah.
It's baby
And she
dick.
says,
from
I can.
Peacemaker, and yeah.
Well, she says, yeah. So she's
Oh,
like,
that's right. He was on that.
she says, I can picture him like as a cop in something, and I'm like, I don't know, he doesn't look like a cop to me. And she goes down his IMDb list, and he's like, officer this,
Right.
agent
Yeah.
this, like every other role he was a cop. And she's like, see, and I'm like, all
He's a
right.
cop in White Chicks. I fucking love that movie.
I was,
Fucking
dude,
White Chicks.
I will always love him in Scary Movie. The Ryan Philippi
Yeah.
guy. Just he's fucking hilarious in
Yeah.
that movie. Damn it! Don't you tell anybody. A lot of people have a little dick. It's a disability. She was awesome. Next.
Something that might not work for you today. Or might not work today.
Not work today, or work in the past, or what wouldn't work for me today?
Or something that doesn't work today and you don't think.
Nothing.
If
I
it all
can't think
works,
of
it
anything.
works.
No, I don't know what wouldn't work today. Like, except the stuff that they were purposely pointing out wouldn't work
Yeah,
today.
and they did a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, they didn't spend too much time on it.
Mm-hmm.
They could have gone a whole lot more millennial preachy with it. And
Yeah.
they didn't,
And they
so-
didn't. It
and
was
thank
just
God.
enough.
Yeah.
And it was funny.
Yeah, I think all of it works. You could throw somebody on a table and they'd survive to kick ass. And, photo booths. Maybe.
Time traveling photo booth.
Yeah.
Time traveling photo booth.
That works
guess,
for me.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right on. Yeah. So how about you?
I was originally going to say the physicality between the guys versus the girls, but I actually that actually does seem to happen more nowadays because like all the equality.
Damn
The
women.
girl, and I see videos all the time of like some chick getting in some kid's face and he slugs her. So I guess that's
Really?
yeah. So I guess it's not.
What the hell are you watching?
Yeah. Your Facebook algorithm is a lot different than mine.
You mean between like the main girl and the killer? Because I feel like they're trained
Yeah.
and the killers aren't really like the first killer like took karate at the mall.
Yeah.
Right. The
Yeah.
killers aren't
Right.
that physical either. It's like Scream. Nev Campbell holds her own against.
No, there's some. I
No,
thought there was
I'm
some good
I'm
fight
talking more
choreography
about like
between
what
the
I was
killer
talking
and
about
Yeah.
before with like the
Oh,
how
the
they-
violence against the women.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like no one really bats an eye. I kind of feel like that does kind of happen more nowadays.
I mean, I
So-
guess, yeah, it all kind of depends on where you are. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't
You
Blue
didn't, like,
Velvet
break her
violence.
nose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
or something like that.
He's not
Yeah.
raping
When
her
I
with
saw it, I was like,
scissors.
oh, he's just throwing her out of the party.
Yeah, he's just a jerk.
He's a jerk.
Yeah.
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 But God only knows when he gets a couple of drinks at him what
Right,
happens.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Because he's what's the word I'm looking for?
A Neanderthal.
Numbskull?
He's
Yeah.
a numbskull. He's a
Yeah.
bully.
Neanderthal.
Hulk
Yeah.
smash. That was his whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk
there
smash that like button.
I'll smash that like button. Brian, anything that doesn't work for you today?
No, not really. They pointed out a lot of stuff that was different between the 80s and now, and I thought the movie did it very well. So no,
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
That's mine. Pokes fun at the timeline in itself.
yeah,
In a really smart, funny.
it's very
but not
self-aware.
overly.
Right,
It's just
exactly.
hilarious
Like Mark
when you
said,
see
it's
those
not
things.
preachy.
Well, not
it,
Fort
it
Knox.
doesn't stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right when she's just giving up
That's
information.
right. Yeah.
But even myself now, I'm thinking like, what the fuck? She's just giving away this person's information.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's funny thinking about what it was and what it became.
DNA, what's that?
Oh, that was hilarious.
That's hilarious. That's
Yeah,
a hilarious
yeah.
pointer
Towel full of
outer.
blood.
Yeah.
I don't know what it stands
Yeah.
for, but it's a thing.
Yeah. Why am I
yeah.
standing here holding your little kid blood? Throws it on the ground. Fucking cops.
That was very good.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, just like the whole, their whole like kind of aloofness, like they're not used to murder.
No,
Or, you know,
no.
like having to
Yeah.
deal with a
Yeah.
a killer.
They're a small town, you know. Yeah.
It's good though. It tracks though, right? The
does.
the small
Absolutely.
town
Yeah.
with the
totally.
sheriffs that
Yeah.
Oh, the sheriff's great.
Yeah.
The sheriff is awesome.
Never been a
fun.
murder in this town till you showed up.
That reminds me of The Simpsons. When they do the softball team, and they get all the professional players.
Oh, the ringers?
Yeah, and the cops pull over. Who is it? They pull over. They pull over
Darryl
one of them.
Darryl
It's
Strawberry's
not
head
Darryl
grew big,
Strawberry.
yeah.
I think it's
He
like
got
Steve
gigantism.
Sachs or somebody, and they're like, "Whoa,
Oh yeah,
see you're
Steve
from-"
Saxon is running with the law.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
they're like, I
Yeah,
see you're
and
from
Darryl and the straw.
Yeah. They're like, I see you're from New York City. Heard a guy got killed in New York City, but you wouldn't know anything about that. They're like, that's where we were. Simpsons level police.
That's true. Award for what are you doing in this movie?
The guy from Scary Movie.
Yeah, baby
Because
dick.
Baby Dick.
Yep.
Ryan Felipe. Non-Ryan
Baby
Felipe.
Dick.
Laughlin.
Yeah.
I love that actor.
Yeah.
That's great.
I had him and Olivia Holt, who plays her, or the young version of her mom, is from. She was on a show called Cruel Summer.
I know that show.
I dug,
Yeah.
and she's also Dagger. She's from Cloak and Dagger.
I didn't watch that
never
show.
saw
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she's reprised that role in like Runaways, and
She
did the voice on a Spider-Man cartoon and
Cool.
Yep.
Absolutely right.
Cloak and
Yeah.
Dagger.
Randall Park for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was fun seeing
it
him
was a
pop up
pleasant
as the
little
sheriff.
surprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
He's great.
I went with the Max Headroom mask.
Yeah, no, that's great.
What's Matt Frewer doing?
Yeah,
after,
I
like,
know.
After like a minute, I was like, "Oh, it's fucking Max Headroom." I love
Did
it.
you guys notice
With an
like
earring.
in the very first scene, like when they're doing like the podcast tour and the guy's got the flag and he's got all the people behind him wearing the mask and the woman comes out with the burger samples and they all take one, but then as they're walking away, you can subtly hear one of the guys going, "How are we going to eat these?"
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And another one goes, "I don't know," because they've all got their masks on.
That's funny. I was wondering the same thing.
Those
Yeah.
masks were
grabbing
they
them.
were kind of like it was a cross between Max Headroom and Johnny Bravo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it reminded
Yeah.
me of the Duracell battery guys, too, a little bit. I don't know.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I used to love those
Yeah.
commercials.
Remember those?
Yeah,
Primus. Thank you.
that's right. Yeah,
Favorite quotes, best quotes, any quotes?
there was a lot of good ones.
I don't remember them offhand. I didn't get a chance to rewatch it, so I watched it last week.
I got a shit ton. But
Yeah, so the first thing you want to do if you see the killer is run. Remember, avoid the knife, keep your life. It was so asinine.
Yeah.
And then and Tiffany saying that she doesn't want to give a BJ because you pee from there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
one of mine.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
mine was Lurch.
Yeah.
Lurch when he says, and just think,
Afterwards, yeah,
if
just
she
think
gave a
he-
BJ,
she'd
she would probably
probably
still be
alive.
alive. That was my quote. I
That
can't
was-
remember it verbatim, but holy
No,
shit, was that
no
funny?
one should say that.
Yeah, and then she
Yeah.
goes, "Yeah, but let's not let that be the lesson."
I will go with, again, with the smoking mom. I know the 80s are almost over, and I haven't even tried cocaine.
cocaine.
And then she
That-
looks at the
that
little
stuck
kids
out
and she
before.
goes, "They don't
Yeah.
know."
I'm cheating. That's in the trailer, but I
I know.
That's a great.
It's-
those are
it's still in the
hilarious
movie.
lines.
Well, and the airplane one too. Like,
Yeah.
God, flying must be insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Aren't you going to verify it? What are we? Like, she doesn't, what is this, Fort Knox? Verify. Here's your schedule.
There's a lot of great fucking. This is a really fun movie.
It really was.
Totally.
I
What
got.
did you get?
Let's give it up for Angie, who wished there were more dead people. More
what she's
people
giving
were
up the
killed.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's give it up for Angie.
She says, they only killed 3 people. This is a serial killer. I think there should be more. Let's give it up for Angie, who believes there should be more people dead.
Oh, I got another one.
But then did you notice that there were 6 people that ended up dying after
Yeah,
the timeline
that's
changed? So
true.
Angie was right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah, because at the beginning it was only 3,
Right.
but then after the timeline changed, like all those other guys died too, and yeah,
Some
there were
things
6 people that died.
Stay the same.
Leave it to Angie.
I'm gonna go with after the young
The
mom
burger slinging
swears
harbinger
at her, and she goes, "Whoa, mom, mamacita!"
Yeah.
Right.
That had me laughing for some reason.
She did that
was
a couple
great.
of times when she called her
She was
mom,
great.
mamacita.
And she's in Sabrina.
The one that
She's
played
the one in Sabrina.
Yes.
the one,
daughter.
yeah,
She was.
The
So she
daughter.
plays
Yeah.
Sabrina the
All right,
teenage
okay.
witch.
yeah,
I like
She's
her.
yeah, the one that
good.
played
I
Jamie.
Yeah.
I thought she was good.
Continue, Tito. Sorry.
I got. I'm sorry. I'm not going to shake your hand because I'm not 45 and a man. And this one probably got me the most. Who's Fat Trish? Also, you can't call her that.
yeah.
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 Who's Fat Trish? You can't call her that. I like that they kept bringing up Fat Trish.
Yeah.
Again, it's just like
It's so 80s.
it's funny, but it's also like the laziest fucking writing ever.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
he
that's the
dated
way
Fat
people were
Trish.
back then.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's not so lazy.
He dates Fat Trish, so
Fat
that
Trish.
sends him
It's a
on
running
this.
gag.
She
It's a running
dies.
gag you would see in like Better Off Dead or something.
Yeah.
It's one of those names.
It turns into
Yeah.
like a real fucked up
Or like
story,
Heather.
though.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it
Yeah.
totally
That was
does.
another thing. Did you
Yeah.
guys notice the Heather's reference? When they call them the Mollies because they all dress like different
yes,
versions of Molly
yes,
Ringwald.
yes.
Yes.
Oh, you mean the Mollies? What do you mean the Mollies? I'm like, oh my God, it's like Heather's.
It's totally like Heather's.
And then in Heather's, they had Martha Dump Truck, the fat
Oh,
chick.
yeah,
they kept calling.
yeah.
So I'm like,
At
there
the
was a
end,
lot
they-
of things that tied into like other 80s movies
Yeah.
that were really cool.
Other 80s dark.
Yeah, yeah.
Dark comedies.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure. You got an MVP?
My MVP is going to go to the lead, the girl we were just talking about.
Yeah.
I thought she was really good in it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with her.
Mm-hmm. Shipka.
Shipka. I can't remember her name, surname, but she's my MVP all the same.
William Zabka?
Bailey Zappi.
I like her, but I'm giving it to Olivia Holt. As
That's
young
young
Pam.
Mom.
Yeah.
Young Pam. Okay. That's a good
And
choice.
Julie Bowen is pretty badass as the adult.
Oh,
one,
I do
but-
love Julie Bowen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
From the Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Horrible Bosses. I'd
Yeah,
like to bend
that's
her
right.
over and show her.
That's right.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's in a movie.
Oh, that's right. She was Kevin Spacey's wife.
That's
right.
right.
Oh,
That's
shit.
why. Yeah,
I forgot
that's why.
about that.
Yeah.
You said Horrible Bosses earlier, and it didn't even register.
Horrible
that-
Bosses.
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Spacey's wife.
Until just now.
Yep.
That's
She's
funny.
great.
Yeah, she is great.
She was
about
in
you?
Hubie Halloween. You see Hubie Halloween?
Yes, she is.
I like that
I
movie.
gotta
Yeah,
see it.
my
I
daughter
gotta
loves
see it.
that movie.
was
I've seen it
fun.
like
Happy
3
Gilmore,
times.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, it can't be any worse than
When my daughter and I always do
Spirit
the
of Halloween,
Marco
I'll tell you
thing.
that much.
Marco, hold up. No, when he's riding down the street, but one kid yells, Marco, weirdo, and then he goes, Marco, and the other guy goes, asshole. My daughter and I do that all the time.
Fun movie. It's a fun movie. And it's Halloween, so you should watch it.
I will. And I was saying to Derek, it can't be any worse than Spirit of Halloween because we watched that, and even my kid couldn't get into that one.
Serious?
I haven't checked it out yet.
PG-13.
Is it on your Vudu?
It is.
It's on Vudu. It's on Shudder, Prime, whatever. There is nothing in this movie. It could be rated G.
It's the blank screen.
It would have been a better film if it were. But I'll leave you guys to decide that. So I will check out Hubie Halloween.
I thought
Yeah,
it was fun.
Hubie was a
What,
fun
Spirit
movie.
of Halloween?
No, Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, no, check out Hubie.
haven't
I
seen
tried, but
Halloween.
Adam Sandler with the voice.
Yeah, and he does it again in this one too. But if you can get beyond the Adam
I'll try.
Sandler
Well, no,
shtick-
I tried with Hubie Halloween.
I watched it with my daughter, and I thought it was funny. We both ended up laughing.
All right.
You don't like the voice, man? You don't like the voice?
Not after 5 movies in a row. No. You're a good enough actor, Adam. Just talk normal.
He's pretty. He's a
In
good
one
actor.
movie.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can do it.
I liked Funny People.
Oh, Funny People was amazing.
It's a great movie. Be normal.
Amazing.
Just once. Go ahead.
It's good. You got an MVP?
Yeah, I'm going with Shipka as well. She
Shipka,
she
baby.
carried this movie, and
She's
she did it
awesome.
well.
Mama. See?
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
Love it.
She was absolutely hilarious.
hot,
She was a
too.
great heroine.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah,
very
and
good.
she is,
Super
and she's
hot.
cute.
Super
I
hot.
can't say. I'm too old to say.
I think she's cuter with the longer hair in this movie than she was in Sabrina.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I like
I
long
gotta
hair.
see Sabrina.
I like her look.
But I thought she looked great.
I got to see it too. I
Great
can't.
jacket.
Yeah.
Did
Phenomenal
the jacket
jacket.
remind
Better
anybody
hair.
else? Speaking of '80s movies, of Can't Buy Me Love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause she ruins her
When
mom's
she
jacket.
ruins her
Yeah,
mom,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that was kind of like a white Swedish with
Right.
Well,
fringe
now,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
now
Yeah,
not at the time.
that was the first thing I thought of.
I went. Dude, I really liked the soundtrack. I liked that it wasn't a lot of songs that I had heard before, and I love time travel, and I like that there was a lot of. It was a fucking time travel movie.
Yeah.
I like the explanation of the time travel. Mm-hmm. How it moves as a wave. and
Yeah, it's a river.
Still going.
And you get
as-
out the river, and then you run down,
go
but it's,
back
the time
in.
is still flowing.
I love that. I love that explanation of time travel.
Yeah, that was
There's-
good.
There's a million versions. None of them work, but I really like that version.
So the time travel is your MVP?
Yeah, time travel
The
is always
concept
my MVP.
or just the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
travel?
time travel is always my MVP.
Okay.
If time travel's involved.
Cool.
But also, and I said this earlier, the scene when Let the Music Play, they're playing like freestyle music, which you don't hear a lot of freestyle music, which was super popular in the 80s
Yeah.
Yeah.
in movies. And I thought it was used in a really fun action scene
Yeah.
way. And just a lot of the songs that were in it I thought
Yeah.
were really, really fun. But she was great. I thought she was great. Time travel always wins, though.
Mhm. Agreed.
Does it make the rotation?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
We'll watch this
Yeah,
again.
this was a fun movie. I'll definitely watch it again.
Yeah, me too.
Totally.
Absolutely would.
Totally.
All right. So how does it stack up? Time travel movies?
Middle.
Metal?
Middle for time travel.
How about for like slasher movies?
What about slasher movies?
Oh, middle for me. It's
Yeah.
good, but there's a billion slasher movies I've watched before. And
What about this
Slasher
era of what about this era of slasher movies?
then toward the top. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. You're gonna have to
Like all
narrow
these
that down.
like newer.
Something like
For
Happy
modern
Death
horror,
Day,
yeah.
Freaky.
Yeah.
A lot of these like
Well,
younger
yeah.
kids.
So I enjoyed
Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this more than I really liked Freaky, and I enjoyed this one more than Freaky.
Yeah, me too.
And then what was the other one I saw? Oh, but I liked the Babysitter movies better than Totally Killed.
Oh,
Yeah,
Babysitter
Babysitter
Killer
movies were
Queen.
fun.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's toward the top there.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. It's been one. I like the Happy Death Day movies are my shit. But this is a really really fun movie. And the second one, I don't know if you've ever seen part 2 of Happy Death Day.
I still have to see.
That's
I
a
haven't
time
seen
travel movie also, and they do time travel really well in that
Cool.
version. But yeah, I think it's definitely not one of the best time travel movies I've ever seen. But I really like the way they did it.
Nice.
If you had to make a sequel,
I would have. I would go Back to the Future too. I'd have because the killer, the second killer, the surprise killer. I can't remember exactly. He ends up surviving in the future, rewritten and has seemingly made peace. But I say he tries to fuck time again, go back, give his young self the knife again, and create an alternate.
Another
an
alternate
alternate 1985 or whatever
Biff
whatever
Tower
present
and-
time
Yeah.
we're gonna take.
Tower,
I would
yeah,
alternate
yeah.
the present time and want to see what would have happened. How could it have been worse for Julie Bowen's character? For Thank you.
Shipka.
Yeah,
Shipka, thank you. And
Zapka.
that would be mine
nice.
because I would because like you guys had said, the way they were changing time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of playing room there, so I would like to see more of that.
Yeah.
So I too would kind of continue the Back to the Future trend. By this time, Colette, who is her Jamie's name now, teaming up with a niece or nephew, Jamie's kid, her brother Jamie, who travels back in time to meet her and bring her to the future because she has this experience in doing this, and where she runs into her adult self as well. And it's all to stop Jamie from getting killed.
That's good.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
You got one?
No, I'll probably just go with what Mark said. I liked his story. Yeah.
And then she has to go back, not run into herself again. Maybe now there's like 3 killers. 2 of them are the same person, which would be kind of... You could have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
In the
You could.
beginning of the
With time
movie-
travel, there's a lot of possibilities.
And I would gore it up a bit more too. I mean, this thing is R, but it
Yeah.
should have been a hard R,
Yeah.
man, a pirate R.
R.
You
Yeah.
make slasher films.
I think it was more R for
gore.
language than it was for
I
gore.
agree.
Subject
I
matter.
agree.
Yeah.
Right.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the kills were cool, but it was what I like. I love a
No,
good
they
time
were
travel
good for
movie,
this
but you
one.
have to know.
But if you're doing
you
it
know
in a sequel, you got to up
the
your
killer
game.
stabs
Yeah.
you 16 times, so you know that that's what's going to happen. These
Right.
2 girls die,
Yeah.
and
Right.
the killer stabs them 16 times. It looked fun.
Yeah.
The gore.
We should try it.
The
We should
murders
stab
were kind of cool, but
Well, and the director, who we saw,
Ninotchka Khan.
yeah, she was, she's from a heavy comedic background. She did like Ali Wong's special. And,
okay.
And was it the B in Apartment 23
right.
or whatever?
So,
what
like-
it's called?
what was that?
Yeah.
Kristen Ritter?
Yes,
Ritter,
the
yeah.
Kristen Ritter show.
So,
yeah.
like, I think that she probably, if she was to come back for the sequel, maybe like this was her getting her feet wet into horror.
Yeah.
And maybe next time, like you said, we she could up her game.
Hope so.
But I think
'Cause
that's
she
why it was
clearly she
more
did,
so
she did her homework
comedic.
for this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So
right.
if she's going to abide by slasher sequels, she's got to up the gore game.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would agree. Honestly, these days it feels to me like one of 2 ways. It's either like something that's fairly serious and really trying to scare you, or
Yeah.
it's these movies like the slasher genre has become like American Pie with killers in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I'm really enjoying these movies.
Yeah, same.
But that's what you're getting, I think, from a lot of those outside of the, what we call the elevated
Right.
film. I think probably
Funhouse and Monster Party and all these different like kind of independent, lesser known, but they're all kids. Like
They're all kids.
teenagers.
I think Scream's probably rode the line the best between like kind of funny, but also a little scary, a little more serious. But you have again Happy Death Day, Freaky, The Exorcism. My best friend's Exorcism. Anybody see that?
I haven't seen
No.
it yet.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
And it's not that scary, but it's got some what should be. I guess it could be considered scary.
Yeah.
There's some crazy shit happening in it, but it's more funny than anything. You're seeing a lot of that, and then you have the Barbarians, the Midsummers, like movies like that who are just like straight up trying to scare the shit out of you.
Well, the slasher genre is kind of going through that Scream fun phase again. When Scream came out, you had all the I Know What You Did Last Summers, the urban legends. They rode their wave for a while, and then we started getting tired of them. So serious ones like Strangers came out and took the genre into that serious realm. That lasted for a while, but now we've got another wave of comedic and fun, self-aware.
I don't know that
films.
anybody did it better than Scream though. Like
as far as like walking that line between comedy and horror.
Movies, like I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh no, and those screamed, without a doubt.
Those
Urban
are
Legend.
Urban Legend,
right?
They're not as like hokey. I don't want to call Scream hokey because I think it's brilliant.
No, Scream is,
but they're
hokey.
Not as like
Urban Legend is fun, but hokey.
Self-aware.
It's fun, right? But hokey, right? More self-aware.
Yeah.
Thank you. Where like I think Scream has done it better than anyone of.
Yeah.
Well, especially because like
entertaining
the meta part of it is like the central theme.
Yeah,
right. It's
So
baked into the plot.
Yeah, the idea that they know what they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, all these movies are essentially like, it's like Jaws. You have Jaws, and then you have Jaws ripoff movies, and you have the movies that know they're ripping off Jaws, so they just do it for fun.
Right.
Yeah.
They do it for tongue-in-cheek. You got your piranhas, your alligators, your grizzly, all the
Your
animal
orca.
attack movies, your orca. And they're just like, whatever, we know we're ripping off Jaws.
Yeah.
And that's what Scream was. Scream was the Jaws of its time, and then you just had a slew of
Oh yeah.
imitators.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're going to get that all the time.
And you are. And now we have a different kind of slasher genre. Again, we have slasher fans who we have the slasher film with people who are aware of slasher movies. Final Girl is another example. That was really good. you know?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering
I was reading
how long
this
that's
movie
going to go for.
Was criticized for being too close to Final Girl.
No, I disagree.
I do too. But I did see that even the director of Final Girl was like, he made a comment like, "Oh, this movie looks familiar. Oh yeah, I already directed it."
Oh, that's hilarious.
But that's a little easy.
I
wouldn't
say
say
that.
that.
You know what's funny?
One walks through a screen, the other goes back in
Yeah,
time.
it's
One's in the movie, one's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Sounds like that director's bummed that they didn't get the opportunity.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
to
sounds
direct
like
this one.
sour grapes
Yeah.
because both of those movies owe a lot to past movies that have done it. Even
course.
more
Right.
unknown films,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
that have done it before. I'm trying to think of some too because it's all a blur right now.
For what?
Of movies that were self-aware of slasher films back then, you know, where they knew, you know, slasher films existed, and I can't think of any right now. The closest one I can think of is the one with Dennis Christopher, the Fade to Black movie.
Oh.
You know, where he's kills as a bunch of different monsters. You know, he's a slash. That's going way back. So I mean, these films. They're great, but they're not groundbreaking.
Is that the one where he's got on the cover? There's like different masks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I haven't seen it, but I
No,
know.
yeah, they're not. Yeah.
So get over
Clever.
yourself.
I think in the mix there's some clever ones. I can see, I guess, how there could be some comparison there.
Yeah.
But I think both. That's another one that's like a really fun movie that came out within the last 5 or 6 years. That's you know, on that side of funny, but still trying to give you the horror fan or the slasher fan, like that same, you know, the kill, and the good killer.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't even matter what the killer is. Because in Final Girls, it doesn't matter. It's a made up character. that
Yeah.
Has
It's a
somebody
body count
who has
movie.
Jason Voorhees' backstory.
Yeah.
So they talk about lazy.
Yeah.
They didn't even fucking, no, he's just that's
He's a
his
guy
thing.
in a mask,
Give him
and
somebody else's
that's all
backstory.
you need, and that's what we're going. I mean, that's where we're at again. Just get a guy in a mask.
Yeah.
Right.
Make your final girl or group. You know, just add something. A time machine going through a screen, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what it was in the 80s after a while.
Yeah.
People in masks, Valentine's Day or My Bloody Valentine, fucking prom night, you know. I mean, they were all doing it. They were all doing it after Halloween. They did it again during Scream. Now they're doing it now. And then we're going to get tired of this eventually. And I think we're going to get some serious, like, dark shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of coming or it's here. I don't know that there's like the quintessential slasher film that kind of brought it back. I don't know. Again,
What, for this era?
Yeah, I feel like Blumhouse brought kind of horror back in a lot of different ways.
Especially because like Scream
Or
has
more
still continued.
mainstream.
So it's
Right,
kind of
right,
like
right. Yeah.
it's like Scream is the mainstay. So
Yeah.
it's almost like
Well, it's kind of tough because when Scream came out, you still generally had to go to a movie to see the next big thing in horror. You didn't have all different streaming services making a bunch of movies at once.
Sure.
If we were living in a world without streaming services and say Final Girl or the Babysitter came out, that would be the launching point. And then, but because so many of them come from different directions, you can't single out a single film like you could back
And I
then.
think there's more of them being made now because of the fact that it's so accessible.
So many.
Like because there's
they're so easy to do.
They are, and there's a ton of them out there. I mean, just go on any streaming service and start browsing horror, and you're gonna see all these like straight to video type movies, and a lot of them are good shit. Like they're really good.
So my sequel is, I don't know how it goes, but it's basically a lot more. Like I would like to see a movie, and I don't know how you do this, where the majority of the film is constantly changing based on the past, but you're not seeing the past. You just are seeing the result of the past.
So they're in the now, but
They're in
something's
the
going
present
on
time,
in the
but
past.
Yeah, but
changing
things are
it.
constantly changing.
Yeah.
Or maybe like
That would
the
be fun.
movie is like a prequel where you get the opposite version of the first movie, where you're seeing more of that, and then
The last Final Destination film kind of did that. It leads into
into
you
the
think it's
original, right?
Right, you think it's another sequel, and you don't realize it until upon second viewing. But all the technology is old, but you're not focused on it because you're waiting for the people to die. But if you go back and look at it again, it's stamped all over it. Oh, this takes place before number one, and the end of that movie leads into the original.
into the
So you could do
airplane
something
taking
like
off,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
You got an end credit scene?
No, I didn't think of one. Derek?
I just wanted to see her run into an adult woman who looked like her, like kind of hinting like, she's from the future and it's her.
Something else is going on. Yeah.
I just like that idea too of like having people cast as the younger version and the old
Yeah.
version and all that stuff. I like that.
And they did a good job in this movie of like, whenever they showed somebody from the past or the future,
and they
they kind of did like that little warp, they showed like their
the three of the
their
people
future
standing
self.
together, and then you show them at the classroom.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the old time traveling guide has to show up and say, Shepka, something needs to be done about your kids.
What are we turning into assholes?
Where we're going, we don't need photos. And then the photo booth just flies away. No. You got one?
No, I don't have a.
Turn the graviton into a timesheet.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a really fun scene. I don't have any. I thought the end was just too good with the scrapbook and like catching her up on everything she missed.
Yeah.
See, that's what I would like to see. Like
Agreed.
all of that happening to like catch her up. Well, then she finally appears at the end and they catch her up. Right? You already have seen it all. You just don't know what she's doing. I don't know.
Well, it's a
I feel like there's a
successful
cool way
movie,
to do
so we probably will.
I did like that too. It just ended.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing that people do. It should happen more often. If a sequel comes out of it, great. If not, that's okay, America.
Yeah.
You can just end the movie and it can be okay.
Absolutely.
Don't have me
Yes.
thinking
We told the
something's gonna
story we
come.
wanted to tell.
Sometimes
Exactly.
it's okay for things to end.
You leave it hanging, and then that movie never comes, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what the fuck? I would have liked another movie.
Sometimes not everything needs to be a franchise.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
It can be, but it doesn't. Need
Yeah,
to
it's true.
Yeah. Totally Killer 2. Totally Harder. Whoa.
Oh, hello.
Phrasing.
That's totally killer, man. Any final thoughts from you, gentlemen?
Just a great movie.
Yeah,
Thought
a lot
it
of
was
fun.
Really good.
A
Highly
lot of fun.
recommend it.
Watch it.
Yeah.
It's on
for
Amazon
sure.
Prime.
Yeah, definitely watch it again. I was gonna say watch it again. If I want to watch it again.
I do too.
It's a fun ass film. Good
Cool.
time travel. It should have
funny.
it would have all happened, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh God. Now
It would have
now
already
here's where I go
been
cross-eyed.
happened. If it was gonna happen, it already would have happened.
Yeah.
She would have already had the brother and the. It was always supposed to happen.
Get the whiteboard. Let's go.
That's
Come
why.
on.
That's why I love time travel. I'm like, well, that can't. It's
Where's
Bending your
Aaron?
brain.
Aaron and I spent a whole shift
She's
figuring out Back
already
to the
dead.
Future Part 2. So
She
we
never
need to do that.
died.
She never died.
She
never
can't have
lived.
died.
She couldn't have.
It always happened. Hey. Hey.
And on that note, geek flags, gentlemen. And anything making our geek
Time
flags fly? Let's see. I'm going first.
What do you got, Mark?
I got a couple of things. I'll be quick. Creepshow Season 4 has started on AMC Shudder, and I've watched the first 3 episodes, and overall I'm very happy with it. I
Nice.
won't give anything away, but if you have seen the other ones, I recommend this one. I wanted to bring this up last week, but I forgot to. I saw it. I'm late to the party on this film. Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
I saw that.
Great
It's funny.
movie.
Oh,
Lot
that
of
came out a
fun.
few years ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's
Okay.
a fun-ass zombie
Yeah.
movie.
Is it the kid who plays Cyclops in that from Ready Player One?
He might be,
Probably.
yes.
I didn't
Yes.
recognize him. Check it out.
Is Samara
I-
Weaving
it
in
is.
that movie? Who's the girl?
No, it's
No,
not
it's not
Samara.
Samara
No, it's
Weaving.
the girl who played.
The stripper turned.
Yeah, from Lawrence of Arabia. That was the name of the strip
Right,
club
yes,
in the
I know.
movie.
I'm just laughing
Oh,
because
Sarah Dumont.
Sarah Dumont.
Oh, it is. It's Ty Sheridan.
Okay.
The guy
Yeah.
who played.
So
it
he
is
was-
them.
Cyclops.
Yeah.
Yeah. seen
Todd Packer from The Office is in it, which is hysterical.
Oh, you know what I was thinking was Love and Monsters.
No,
Nope.
I get the two of them.
Oh.
this
mixed
is a
up.
zombie
one who plays
comedy,
Styles.
and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's another fun zombie
It
film.
is fun.
Definitely check that out.
Yeah.
And the last thing, and I was kind of avoiding this one because I heard a lot of bad things about it, but I figured I'd give it a watch. I finally saw the Pet Cemetery remake because I wanted to see the sequel that just came out, and I have not seen that yet.
Oh, the one with.
But I saw the Pet Cemetery remake, and I actually dug it. I really liked it. I did not like the end. I thought it got a little too corny, and how they changed the end I was not a huge fan of. But the way the movie was shot and was great. And outside, you're never going to replace Fred Gwynn
No.
and that great voice. Sometimes that is better.
John Lithgow, right?
But
for
John
this?
Lithgow was great. And the cast was really good. I think I preferred this family over the family in the 80s film.
Oh, wow.
However, that film's Zelda and that film overall still scared me more than this one. But this was a beautiful looking film, and it was a lot better than I thought it was. For remakes, this was one of the better ones.
Cool.
So those are my 3.
That came out when? In 2019? Is this the one I'm thinking?
I think so.
Yeah,
With
yeah,
John Lithgow. You said.
Yes.
I don't even
Yeah.
remember this movie coming out.
yeah. I avoided it because I heard some bad things
know they
about
made
it.
a remake.
Yeah, but I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I really liked
You
it.
Yeah,
remake a
I
movie
saw
like
it.
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for anybody to
Right.
like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
if you loved.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Right,
first
it's
one was
hard
so
one to
iconic.
And then
fuck
and then I
with.
rewatched part 2 to the original
Oh, yeah,
80s
you're
one,
saying,
and that's
yeah.
just fun. You got the Kurgan in it, Eddie Furlong. What is not to love?
What more could you ask for?
Exact. Thank you, Mary Lambert.
Somebody better.
So I'll let you know. Somebody better than Eddie Furlong. Butnick was busy.
Anything else? I don't
Butnick,
know.
would you rather have
Oh
Butnick?
yeah, for sure.
And I'll let you know how Bloodlines was.
Which is a
next week.
prequel, right?
Which is a prequel with the Duchovny.
Yeah.
Fox Mulder in a Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
He stole my heart.
Is that on Peacock or
That is on
Paramount.
Paramount? It's
Is it on Paramount?
Yeah, one of the two.
All right. And Pet Cemetery, I think is HBO. I can't remember where I saw it. It was
Yeah.
on one of the things. Derek.
Last week I mentioned that the Fall of the House of Usher
Yes.
was coming out. It did, and I shotgunned it because I couldn't stop watching it, and it was fantastic.
How many episodes?
8
Eight.
episodes. Each episode is so it's all Edgar Allan Poe stuff. They like the overarching story is the Usher family, but like you get the Pit and the Pendulum in there. You have the Cask of Amontillado,
The Mask of the Red
Mask
Death.
of the Red Death, and the Raven,
The
and-
Telltale Heart.
Yeah, Telltale Heart. Like it's and it was
Yeah,
awesome.
I started watching it,
The
too.
way that they were all interwoven, the cast. I mean, Mike Flanagan. He can do no wrong in my
Yeah. He
book.
makes some
I've
good
liked
stuff.
Yeah, you got Bruce Greenwood, you got Mary McDonald,
Carla
Gugino.
Gugino is
Mary
as
McDonald's in
usual.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
love
Mary
Mary
McDonald
McDonald.
Yeah,
plays
me too.
Madeline Usher. So, but yeah, it was awesome, and I love the Newton Brothers music, and the atmosphere, the cinematography, the design of the characters, and everything. It's perfect. So, what episode are you up to?
2.
2.
And the only reason that I'm only up to 2 was because we were watching it last night, and my daughter happened to be in the room. And episode 2 was the one where Prospero starts the nightclub, which is kind of like
a little
a big orgy.
risque, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
now we're talking.
Yeah, and so like my wife was like, "You got to turn this off." And even though my daughter wasn't watching it, she had her face buried in her phone.
Avert your eyes.
Yeah, and she wouldn't have noticed anything if my wife couldn't, hadn't kept saying, "You got to turn it off." Now, of course, my daughter's attention is now on the TV, so I'm like, all right.
Adding fuel to the fire.
So I've only gotten up to like halfway through episode 2.
Yeah.
But I love it so far.
It is. Cool.
Yeah, that's on my list as well.
And I love Edgar Allan Poe stuff anyway.
Edgar Allan
So
Poe.
it's really like
It's fun to pick out the little
references.
Easter eggs, like
Yeah.
the bust of Pallas on
Right.
the on the
which later comes into like the
into
very
play.
last episode is the Raven.
Yeah.
And so like there's there's like stuff that there's a ton of like poems that are cited but as kind of speeches and as lines,
right? Like the funeral,
the
in the first one,
like the priest at the funeral is listing off I forget the name of the poem.
Yeah, but it's definitely Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, it's just like the way that they took all these stories and integrated them to make one. Like I love when filmmakers and art like writers can do that, where you take a bunch of all these different cool
Ideas.
things that people
Yeah.
are fans of and interweave them like to make them all kind of fit perfectly, and it totally works. Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Nice.
I want to check that out.
Yeah, check it out. Like I said, I've watched it. That was on my Geek Flag as well, even though I'm only up to episode 2. So because I had to turn it off, I started watching The Continental last night. And
like
I watched the first episode of The Continental, and I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I haven't seen
A lot
it
of
yet.
fun. It's all about Winston.
I was thinking about that place when we were in New York. But
Yes.
it's all the way down
Yeah.
in the financial district.
Oh, is it?
Next time, Derek. Next time.
Yeah.
When there's no
building
protesting
exists.
going
It
on.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And actually, if you Google it
That'd be
now,
cool.
it comes up as the Continental.
Oh, really?
Like it's labeled in Google Maps as the
Yeah.
Continental.
That's awesome.
You ever go? Tito, you know Providence. You know the Turk's Head building.
Yeah.
I think if they had like another Continental, they could
Oh, it
use
could be
that.
the Turks. Yeah, because
And
it's
that's
right
in
at
the
that point.
right,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
It is. It's like right in an intersection of two streets.
Got
and
the
it comes together.
cobblestone road all
Yeah,
surrounding
and that's
it.
also
Yeah.
in the financial district of Providence.
Use the Superman building. No one's using that for
Yeah, I know. Isn't that empty?
Yeah.
Somebody bought it. I think they're doing.
Yeah.
something
Oh,
with
did they
it.
really? Okay.
Yeah, so those are my two.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good
yeah. And
choices.
I want to continue watching them. Because of New York, I really didn't get a chance to watch anything at all
Yeah.
this past
Yeah, we were
weekend.
really
and
We
busy.
got to watch Mark.
I got to watch Mark.
Up close and personal,
I did.
baby.
Yeah.
To take care of Mark.
I
Yeah.
did. Yep.
When the moon hits your eye like a baby, supply
That's
is
the Marky.
Ride a carriage ride, snuggle side by side. Thank you, Tito. How about you?
That's good.
You like that? It's all in here, Tito.
did. You got your thinking
The
cap on
tangled
for sure.
forest of Mark's mind.
Dean Macrino,
I don't know, guys. I don't know why I'm still here. Go ahead.
Ring-a-ding-a-ding,
I just got the one. So I met Exhibit, great guy, great rapper. He did a comic book with this writer Rodney Barnes, who I didn't realize had written for. I was telling Mark and Brian this earlier. The Boondocks, Everybody Hates Chris, and a bunch of other television series. And recently got into comic books. He wasn't always a comic writer. So I was talking to him, and he had some other books there. So I bought one. It's called Philadelphia.
nice.
And it is fucking fantastic. It essentially is a story of vampires in Philadelphia
Yeah.
Nice.
and a vampire attack, which renames the city of Philadelphia because there's this huge vampire attack. And it's the story of it's like a father and his son who have this really terrible relationship. And the father is looking for a missing person and finds that missing person. It is a vampire. And the vampire gets him. So his son is trying to figure out what happened to the father. And then a bunch of shit starts happening. The head vampire, I just finished it, so if anybody wants to borrow it,
I was just gonna say,
I'll totally.
yeah,
I don't want to spoil anything, but like the head vampire is somebody awesome. It's awesome. It's an awesome story.
Wait, so it's someone who exists?
It's someone who existed
Yes!
in real life.
Oh, CM Punk?
Wow.
No, it's someone who
Donald
existed
Trump.
in real life and is now trying to change the perception of history, like the world's perception of them in history. And he teams up with, it's the coroner and the other detective, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, and while this head vampire is trying to take over Philadelphia and then the rest of the United States because they have this idea of what they can do. So I read the first one. I knocked it out. I wish I had bought more of them. So I ended up buying the second volume on Amazon. And another book that he did that I also bought and I haven't read yet is Blackula: Return of the King.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I wrote a book called Blackula: Return of the King.
Oh, I love Blackula.
The artist is Jason Sean Alexander. The style is really, really cool, and it fits really, really well with the horror aspect of the book. But I was really happy to meet Exhibit, but now I'm even happier that I stumbled upon this. There were a couple of people there that were my highlights that I had no idea who they were, and I saw some books, and I took a chance, and I was really, really happy, and this was one of them.
Yeah. What was the other one that you got? The Harriet Tubman?
Harriet Tubman,
Vampire.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
I haven't even gotten to those yet, but that
because I can remember
artist,
walking past that booth and seeing them, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then you said that you bought it.
Yeah.
Later that day,
I haven't had a chance
to
read them, but the guy was really, really nice and really interesting, and apparently it's going to be a TV show, which I didn't know. Hulu bought it, and Hulu's going to release it as a television series. I don't know if it's live action or animated, but
either one would be cool.
But those two guys that I met, him and Ronnie Barnes, were really, really cool guys, and they had some really cool stuff. And this book is
that's awesome. We got to do a book exchange. We got to exchange some stories.
I got two of yours already.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Welcome to the 3GD Lending Library.
Right.
But that's it. I
Awesome.
haven't really watched anything new.
Good
besides
picks,
Totally
everyone.
Killer.
Very nice. Very quickly, I just want to shamelessly plug Werewolf with a Chainsaw issue 4. October 28th, I am going to be at Rubber Chicken Comics in Bellingham signing issue 4 of Werewolf with a Chainsaw, which is out at Rubber Chicken Comics. I will be there with artist and writer Paul Montani, who's releasing his book, Welcome to the Rat Race, the Halloween special. It is a funny book. His Welcome to the Rat Race books are awesome. And they are also, his past stuff is also available at Rubber Chicken. Check it out, October 28th.
Are you going to be alone or with Josh?
Josh will be there.
Okay.
Yep, Josh
Saturday?
will be there. This is not this Saturday, October
It's
28th.
a Saturday.
It is a
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah.
But
It is a
Rubber
Yeah,
Chicken
a week
Comics
from
is
this
also
Saturday.
having a sale that day and Sunday. It's a weekend sale with tons of deals. Get down there, comics fans. Check them out. Come see me. Get Werewolf with a Chainsaw because it answers all the questions. Why does a werewolf have a chainsaw? This is the issue, boys and girls. Check it out because if you don't, you cannot be my friend and you cannot come to my birthday party and I'm getting a bounce house. So, on that lovely image, I don't have anything to say, so I'll just go right to thank you for listening. And if you want to check out any other past shows where I shamelessly plug my shit, that sounds gross, and other people's shit, I just shit
His
plug
shit,
it
not his
away.
shitter.
Yeah, not his shit. That's just disgusting.
Oh, what an
Or
image.
if you want to hear more stories about me fucking up in New York, well, this is the only one. But there's plenty of humorous anecdotes in other episodes of Three Geeky Dads stretching back about 6 years now. Brian, where
Mark.
can they go?
They can go to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.
The number 3.
GDpodcast.com. And as Mark said, you'll be able to find all of our past episodes there. And at the website, you'll also find one-click buttons where you can easily subscribe to us. If you're not already a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Smash one of those buttons and you'll be sure to never miss an upcoming episode. Also, we have a Ko-fi page, and the link can be found at our website as well. Our Ko-fi page is kind of like Patreon, so if you want to help contribute to keep the show going, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated because, as we always say, podcasting is not cheap. Our social media links are also there. We can be found at Facebook, Twitter, now X, Instagram, and our audio can be found. Yes, I know, Tito X. Our audio can be found weekly on YouTube as well. And I think that's pretty much it. One more most important thing, though, before a 5-star review and a rating. A 5-star rating, I'm sorry, I always mix this up. A 5-star rating and a review go a long way to help push us a little further forward from the pack of other podcasters with similar sounding podcast names and themes. And we want to make sure that you are listening to the one and only and original Three Geeky Dads. So that's pretty much it. With that being said, back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everyone, for listening out there. Thank you, guys, Derek, Brian, and Tito. Until next time when we come back with another Halloween-themed special for special episode, special, whatever,
Halloween.
Russ, whatever. This is for Three Geeky Dads. This is Mark.
This is Derek.
Brian.
Tito.
Saying keep watching the skies and good night out there. Whatever you are.
Fuck you.
I wonder if anybody's still listening.
Good night.
Hello and welcome. Oh wait, no, this one's mine. It's yours.
DK Metcalf is a football player, and I have him on one of my fantasy teams. He has his own comic book.
Really?
He wasn't there, though. I was like, DK Metcalf's not going to fucking be here. He's playing on Sunday. This is bullshit. It's the only reason I'd buy his fucking shitty comic.
Because it's DK.
His name is Chaotic.
DK
I
returns.
was like, this is so fucking lame.
That is lame.
At least if he was here, I could be like,
Are,
hey,
are you going to check out Kid Cudi's comic?
dude. I was like, Ronan, you want to go to fucking Kid Cudi's thing? He's popular.
Yeah.
No, nobody wants to do it. I was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I should have just went by myself.
Fuck you guys.
But I probably won't.
Did Ronan like it, though? Or did he just
I don't
kinda
know, man.
Yeah.
How old's Liam?
He's a tough nut to
Liam,
crack.
7?
Yeah.
In 8 years, I'm going to ask you if Liam liked the thing, and you're going to be like, I have no fucking idea.
Yep.
No clue.
They just kind of
Tough nut to crack.
Are you having fun? Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
Okay. Did I just waste a bunch of money?
I
Maybe.
guess.
Maybe.
I guess.
I'm sure he told all his friends he had a blast.
Yeah.
But
He's
there
not
were
going to tell
points
you.
where he was
He's
like
not gonna
really
tell
happy.
you.
But
He's not going to tell you that. That's
like,
too
oh, I
easy.
think he's having fun
gonna
right
make it
now.
too easy.
I think so.
Yeah, he wasn't saying much.
I don't think he. I think he probably could have used like half a day
Yeah.
each day.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, we're gonna walk a lot. We're gonna stand in lines. We're gonna be there from the morning till the evening. Okay. I was like, all right. He brought 3 pairs of sneakers.
Really?
Smart
Did
kid.
I? Well, I fucking opened up his luggage and I was like, there's no room to put anything. Why do you have 3 pairs of sneakers? I said, bring 1 pair that's comfortable.
He couldn't
Oh, I
decide
don't
which one was the
know.
most comfortable.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like, well, now I have to carry all this shit. There's no room to pack. I don't even know how you fit 3 sneakers in this bag.
Whatever.
He's a great guy, though. Shout out, Ronan.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. It's a good kid.
Tito's
He's a good kid.
He's a spitting image of you.
He really
He's a
is.
good kid.
It's like,
Yeah.
He was nice to me. We were pointing out
Yeah.
other people in cosplay.
Oh, yeah. That was his favorite thing.
was seeing people in cosplay.
And he was pointing out people that I was like, what the hell is that? Oh, it's an anime. You don't know.
You're not hip enough, Dad.
Yeah. He loves Ryan Gosling, too.
Who doesn't?
What was
So
Ryan
somebody
Gosling
was
there?
no, but
Oh.
somebody was dressed as Ryan
Ken?
Gosling from Blade
from-
Runner.
Oh.
Oh, all
And he
right.
was like, "Oh, it's Ryan Gosling's character from Blade Runner." I was like, "Well, that's
Wait, was he the
specific."
blonde guy in the trench coat?
Yes.
Because are you sure that that's who he was?
Looked like
we
a thing
I
over
think
his nose.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, like
okay.
a-
See, I
we
thought
saw
it
him
was
from the
Constantine.
we saw him from the back. We were like, is he Constantine?
Yeah.
Is he
Connor
who else do we-
McLeod from
yeah,
the
Connor
Highlander.
Yeah. Yeah. Is he a
Deep cut.
Doctor Who?
Yeah.
What a
Is he-
deep cut! Is that guy Connor McLeod?
Is that Connor McLeod? Where are all the Kurgans?
Oh, Mark.
Well, you know what?
You should be a you should go as Kurgan.
I
don't you?
should be a Kurgan.
You know where we were? Know where we were near?
What?
Madison Square Garden.
It was except with all the lousy wrestling.
Maybe in a fit of depression, he went into the garage and took off his own head.
Talk funny, Nash. Where you from?
Lots of different places.
Friend of the show, Christopher Lambert.
That's right, or Lambert,
Or
depending
Lambert,
on
depending
You had to
on
learn how to
depending on
speak
what
English
side of
for
the
that movie.
I know.
Atlantic you're
He
on.
had very, very
didn't speak
little
English. He,
expertise.
You had
Yeah,
to read it phonetically, I think,
Yeah.
is
I
how
think-
he learned his
yeah.
lines. Because
Pretty
all he
much.
spoke was French. He
Yeah.
spoke zero English.
yeah.
Swear.
That's kind of amazing.
He was supposed to be Scottish too. Ah,
And they had the Scottish guy playing an Egyptian. Go figure.
You Spanish peacock.
that's just Highlander, baby.
You're a liar. You said you were Egyptian.
You look like a woman, you stupid haggis. Haggis?
What's haggis?
What is haggis? Sheep,
In the back-
sheep's stomach.
Stuffed with meat and barley.
How revolting.
What do you do with it? You
eat it. All right, welcome to the Highlander Show. All right, so
We need a joke.
I got one.
Oh, look at you.
I got two.
Is Comic-Con is our appetizer?
Yeah,
Yes.
Sign
yeah,
on
yeah.
that? Okay,
Yeah,
all
then
right,
we'll
good.
talk about our geek flags.
I got two 80s jokes.
Okay.
I went 80s for totally.
I see
totally
what you
kill
did.
it.
Totally is.
I
Totally.
got. How does David Brin from Talking Heads look these days?
Burn.
Oh, same as he ever was.
Oh,
Same
that's,
as he ever was.
that's deep. I like
Or why were 80s Valley Girls so odd?
that. Why?
Because they can't even.
I like the David Burns
Because they
one.
can't
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah. I can't even.
I don't get it. Read it to me again.
No, I'm not doing it again. Because I knew you got it. You got it. You just trying to.
You just want him to say can't even.
Come on, Derek.
Can't even.
All right, do the.
You
do
like the David Byrne?
Do the other
The Dave
one.
Byrne.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're doing the. We still have the Halloween intro, right? So. Oh, that's. Yeah, there it is. All right. So, okay, good.
Bottom one.
Cool.
All right, ready?
Ready.
Hey, how does David Byrne from Talking Heads look these days?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Same as he ever was. Same as he ever was. Same as he ever was.
This is not my beautiful podcast.
Same as it never was.
If you want to check out any other past shows where I shamelessly plug my shit, that sounds gross, and other people's shit, I just.